Mars is not here yet because I'm not on the Discord, but I needed the time. I don't even know what I'm doing. Discord. Hello, Mars. Oh, hello, Mars. We're on the air.
Hi. Yes. Hello.
Welcome.
Oh my goodness. Why is it help wanted? This ain't FNAF.
It needed a second. Hold on.
Oh my goodness.
You can still hear the voices. We're here. We're here.
Dichotomy, quit telling everyone we're dead.
The politically correct term for the ocean hose is H2 hose. Oh my god.
H2 hose. Wasn't there a show?
Yeah, it was called H2O, and they're Australian.
Should be
Oh
H2
no!
hose.
Oh no!
Clayar!
The Australian in
Don't go
chat
in
is
the
not
water.
here. No!
Guys, I never watched this show. I've only experienced it through
How you been?
What is it? Reels. Hiya, Bugs! Oh my goodness.
I watched
Welcome back.
maybe a total of 3 episodes of H2O. And yeah,
right.
that was it. I knew
that's
the
it.
lore. Like I watched the first episode because when it came out, you know, I was like, ooh,
you knew the lore.
This is cool. And then I was like, okay, I find okay, if you go through all the shows that I actually watched as a child, they're none of the ones that the dating high school shit is the main focus because I can't stand it.
Understandably so.
Yeah, watched a lot of Kim Possible, obviously, we all know that.
Lots of Adventure Time.
What else did I
Which
watch?
Did have a large amount of shipping in it.
But it didn't
But not too many episodes about
okay.
dating.
Kim obviously had crushes and Ron had, whatever. But that wasn't the focus of the show. Right? In H2O, 90% of it was how do they get dates and not have them know about shit and So I couldn't Same with iCarly. There was dating involved, but it was mostly Spencer and not till later episodes was it really a major focus of the conflict, right? That's the problem. When the show's conflict is nearly always relationship dating shit, that's when I'm annoyed. You know?
Yeah. That's when it
Ron
gets
had
too much.
See, I don't know if
Mason,
Ron...
this sounds like one for you to check out, I gotta say.
It never felt... so far, Penguin, we haven't seen Ron have a crush. He's I'm gonna date somebody, I'm gonna ask people out. But unlike Kim with, Josh Mankey being oh, she likes Josh Mankey specifically, Ron's just yeah, I'll get a date, I'll do it. Or oh, there's a cute girl, I'll ask her out or whatever, it's there, but he's not crushing. The difference. Ron has his career, so guys, it is so hard not to be oh, wait for that episode and wait for this one and ooh, you think this shit. God, it is so difficult.
It's so good.
I see, guys, this is getting back at me for any times I've said Ace Attorney shit that you guys are ooh, what's going to happen? So, yeah, great shit.
We get to have our cake and eat
That
it
whole
too.
thing. Why do they call it a love triangle when it's often a love V? I don't know, because 3 points.
It's very true, Estruck. It's very true.
It is
it's
very
only
true.
A true love triangle
V,
if somebody in there
doesn't
is bisexual.
See,
it
the
only
problem
works that way. Or pan.
Or
That
pan,
also works.
yeah. But love V, that's hard to say. I think that's literally why. The love V is really annoying to say. And so if you say it too fast, it's just lovey-dovey, and it's that's not what we want. That's
actually kind of cute, though. I want that.
Yeah, but to say the lovey is not the love V. It's just hard. So love triangle is 2 different words.
That just sounds like a skill issue in language to me.
It's the sides that's the problem, Penguin, is the sides. The love hinge. The love angle is just what it is. You need 3
really
points
is
to
the
make
love
one
angle.
angle. It's the love angle.
Usually with the girl backed into the corner.
Oh, there you go. Gotti. A true one does bugs, but they're so hard to do.
Okay, guys, if you want a true love triangle, read The Iron Widow. There is an actual love triangle in
I gotta
it.
do that.
It's really good, Ori. I'm pretty sure you still have my copy.
Yes, the plan is I have 2 12-hour road trips.
Ago, dude.
Yeah, I know. If you want it back, you can have it back at any time. Just let me know.
You will read it.
I will. Yes. It has not been 2 years. And the reason I know it's not been 2 years is because if it had been 2 years, I would have read it the last time I was away. It has not been 2 years.
Given it to you right after you came back from being
so it's
away.
it's not been a year yet. Okay? Don't come at me like that. Jesus.
I will concede.
I'm slow, I get it, but like, damn.
Honestly, I am in no place to judge. It's taken me 3 months to get, like, 100 pages into the book I'm currently reading. Yeah, and
you haven't even read Sasaki and Miyano, which takes like 30 minutes to read.
It takes me 30 minutes, but I gotta be honest, I need the deadline of us hanging out again in order to read it, because then I know, oh shit, I gotta get this back to Ori. Now it's crunch time. I gotta read.
I feel it. That is why I read it to give to you, so, you know, it works out.
And now I'm sitting here like, okay, as soon as Ori says we're hanging out, that's when I'm gonna pick it up and read it in a single afternoon.
A love H. It's a lot of characters.
H.
It's like 2
That's
love
like
V's, but the centers of the love V's love each other. No, it's 6 people.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
6 people.
Because you got to put them at each point.
The problem with the whole thing is just it's very difficult.
Truck, let's be honest, the mystery gang from Scooby-Doo. Interpret that how you will.
Just don't count Scooby. Nobody should count Scooby.
No. I mean, Mystery Incorporated was counting
Their
Scooby.
emotional support, yoinkies, blinkies, yeah. No, God Mason, no. Barely 25% through One Piece. I mean, you know, the fact that you're any through One Piece is pretty great. No, what was I gonna say?
Tis a long one.
The problem with any of these, like, couple stuff like that happens is, like, you know, the love triangle, the love V's, the love, all this sort of stuff. It's very, very difficult. Ooh! You know what, an interesting one? I don't know if it would be a specific shape, but it's like, it's interesting. Princess Tutu has a very interesting romance map that I feel like does a very good job at the whole thing. Because you feel a certain way, you expect a certain thing, and, you know, it's good. But, like, I'm very fulfilled at the end, you know?
That is true.
I don't know what I would call that shape.
I would say that more so plays on expectations than a true,
It's like a Love Z. But they're kind of, but they have platonic triangles in an interesting way. That's what I'm gonna say.
Go in every direction.
Yeah, you have this, where it's like 1, 2,
oh yes,
3,
the love Y,
and
where
4.
3 people like the person in the center point. Absolutely, Estra.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
That's just, you just start getting to harem though, you know. But yeah, you have like this shape, where you all of these are like potential like romance things. But then you also have like, but there's like a platonic love here that's interfering the other way. So it's very interesting. I think they technically, both of these arrows would go in these directions. But, so this is like platonic, but they interfere with these by their existence. It's very interesting. And then who ends up with who is not, at least what I was expecting from the beginning, but I'm not upset about it. and I very, very much enjoy it. If you want just an older anime to watch that's, pretty chill, I would say overall pretty chill, very fantasy vibe related, lots of classical music, vague overarching tones of just the general story of the Nutcracker, and a really interesting, emotional journey for the characters. Really good. Has one of my favorite characters. I call him Reverse Sasuke because I absolutely hated him at the beginning. I wished for his downfall. Hate. He's my favorite character. I love him so much. So yeah, watch Princess Tutu. It's 2 seasons, not that long. I think it's 24 episodes at the max.
And honestly, a very good Christmas watch.
Yeah, it's very nice.
That would be one I'd put on repeat and use that to ring in the holiday season.
It's all 1 point, Estrock. So it's they learn that the person they're crushing on is actually their clone. Yeah, time travel would work. Something I could see interesting vibes of a really cool story being told with the Love Mobius strip, where it's how what's his name? Would be Quincy Endicott and the other woman were the ghosts, right? You could be in love with a ghost, but it's your ghost, but it's not an actual ghost. It's just the figment of you. Very interesting. Could be a very interesting. It could go a lot of ways. It could go
What are we doing here?
No. The
I'm
idea.
Confused.
Okay, so in Over the Garden Wall, they have that episode where they're oh, I've fallen in love with a ghost, right? But it turns out to be a real person, but their mansions are just so large that they never manage to really physically interact. But they're seeing the leavings of them, each other behind, right? Thinking that there's a ghost. So
but that's still being in love with another person.
No. I know. But so what if in the context of this hypothetical story, either the character has some sort of, short-term memory or, Moon Knight shit going on, however you want to pose it, or they're just forgetful, right? Or they travel between different places. That could be very interesting. Maybe they have 2 homes, right? And they have to travel between. And so they do something that they forget about happening, or not even that they directly do something and they forget about it. They do something that directly causes something else that they're not aware was caused by them, right? And then so that thing, they're oh, it's a ghost, but those things end up being helpful or something, or this, that. So you start having this relationship with this ghost.
A short-term memory where they forget what they themselves done and think it was another person who did it.
So it could be
and
that.
They start falling in love with quote-unquote those person's actions.
Yes, which is just them, and maybe it's self-love in the end, or maybe it's whatever, not self-cessed, but they've come to love themselves at the end, or whatever. Or it doesn't have to necessarily be memory loss. Like I said, it could be that the way they put the dish in the sink, kind of Rube Goldberg'd machine in a mild way to make it so that something else happened, but they don't realize that butterfly effect started with them, right?
Huh.
Just, I feel that's an interesting.
And I feel like Amnesia is definitely the easier way to write that kind of plot.
Yeah, but I also feel that's kind of a cop-out,
It could be done. I don't see it as an impossibility.
It seems. I read a collection,
really wholesome or psychological horror.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well, right? I read I have a book. I'm trying to remember the name of this book, but it's a collection of short stories. I got it a Scholastic Book Fair. Scholastic Book Fair book with cat reflection cover. I'm trying to see if I can come up with it.
This is so specific.
I know. I can picture the book. Okay. Collection of short stories with cat on the cover. I know exactly what it looks like, but I can't remember what it was. But it's like the cover of the book, maybe this will jog somebody else's memory in chat and you can tell me. The cover of the book is like a flat purplish color and it has like a reflective like motif in the middle, and one side is a cat and the other side is, I think, a child, and they're like reflecting each other. And it's a collection of short stories. And I remember them being all this kind of like thing where they're like slightly off. Not in necessarily like a creepy way, but in like a surreal way.
Kind of like a Twilight Zone.
Yeah, kind of like a Twilight Zone thing where they weren't necessarily like malicious. The cat came back. No. It had like a No, it's not the cat came back. It's like a collection of short stories with a cat on the cover, and it's like a cat and a child reflecting each other. Book with cat and child reflecting each other. Like, I very vividly, like the second I see the cover of the book, I will know it is that book. And I have it at my parents' house. Like, it's definitely still at my parents' house.
I'm so curious what
I'm
this
trying
book
really
is.
hard.
Not horror.
I wouldn't say it was horror-y. It was more surreal. And definitely like a yeah, very thought-provoking. I'm sorry?
Philosophical?
Maybe. It's definitely like, you know, it was for children. I'm talking like elementary school age.
As philosophical as you can get.
Yeah, but it was definitely like, you know, something going on. Can I like get a list? Scholastic Book Fair.
2002.
Yeah, literally. What age was I?
Yeah, seriously.
2005, maybe 4, something like that. Is this? Okay, I need to have the covers. But yeah, and basically all I'm saying is that feels like what we just talked about here with this story is like what
a little bit, yeah,
would have been in like a slightly more, you know, like adult version of that book, right? But that's why I think doing it in like the Rube Goldberg kind of way would just be more interesting to try and like make it so it happened that way, right?
Okay, but Ori, now the problem comes. What character do I do it with? Who in fanfiction could fit that bill?
Who needs to love themselves? Who needs to like have the self, you know, like actualization of it?
Well, I know Vash doesn't think highly of himself.
Yeah. Because you could even go like less abstract and more of where like what they did is what came back around to them, right? But the people along the way, you like play telephone, so you lose that it was him.
It's
right?
Literally that meme of, oh, I'm gonna do this so future me will be appreciative of it without acknowledging like future me recognizes past.
Yeah. So I can see like, oh, I'm, you know, character A, the main character, and I gave the last slice of cake to my coworker, right? So they basically paid it forward and it came back around to me, and it's like, oh, like who do I have to thank for this? And they're like, oh, I don't remember who it was, but someone gave so-and-so a, you know, whatever, and like, you know, it was a whole chain effect thing. And it turns out that after a bunch of these things, like it was you all along being the good person, and that it like did come back around to you, you know, those sort of things. Hello, Enthuse! Enthuse is into the building!
Enthuse.
Graduate Enthuse!
Congratulations, Enthuse!
Are you gonna... Okay, I don't know, but this is maybe a stupid question, but I didn't know anybody who double majored in, like, in person. I didn't know anyone in person that did. Do you get multiple diplomas, or do you just get one and it lists them all?
Curious about that.
Yeah. I know, I like vaguely in the distance.
Holy crap, like triple major?
Yeah, triple major was nuts.
Jesus.
I'm assuming I have to assume enthuse, and correct me if I'm wrong, that like at least 2 of them were fairly similar in requisites. Because at my college, you could probably triple major, like just mathematically, that a lot of classes like counted for both.
Just overlap.
You have no idea? All right.
You have no idea?
Well, we'll find out, I guess.
We'll find out when that diploma arrives, I guess.
Of diplomacy.
Diplomacy.
Yeah, because like, I know that like a lot of my classes, like if you planned it right, you definitely could have like triple majored at my college. You know, just a lot of them are very, very similar. And a lot of them you could have taken like, the major that I took, environmental biology, was specifically like super flexible. And you had like a lot of options you could go into. So you could probably very easily do environmental biology and another major without taking very many more classes. And then with like, I had like a ton of like AP credits. So I actually graduated a semester early. And I could have graduated a whole year early if I like tried to do that. But I was like, I don't want to try to do that. And I was privileged enough to not have to do that for money reasons. But Enthuse got, like, hella bang for their buck, man. Like, I don't...
Seriously.
Jesus.
There was little overlap. Enthuse.
Really?
How did you do it?
That's insane, Enthuse. That's insane.
That's nuts.
And also, what's wild, Enthuse, the craziest part to me is that, at least perceptive from, you know, over the internet like this, you had a fairly, like bustling... non-scholastic life during college, right? Like you were hanging out with friends and freaking protesting birds and whatever, like, you know, going to cons. Like,
yeah.
Freaking, do you get like 29-hour days? Or are you like you don't need to sleep?
Or
like what is the secret?
Does it just work differently?
Yeah, do you work physically faster in time? Why were you protesting birds? I know that that's from my statement.
Why not protest
but
birds?
It's very funny to me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Enthuse. Like you know, normally it's like the pick 2, but like, again, from the outside looking in of the small slice.
Overlapped with the major. Okay, but still, you managed to have a social life, sleep 8 hours, and do all that, and eat?
You sleep 8 hours and 4 hours, Penguin? Are you sure that's not just sleep deprivation?
Okay, guys, this is how I know time is a social construct. I woke up this morning, and I was like, okay, alarm went off early, I'm gonna sleep a little bit more. I check my phone again, and it's like, oh, only 3 minutes have passed. Time is like crawling. Then I realize, okay, time to get up, get dressed. I have like 3 minutes to go. It's fine. Literally, check 3 minutes later, like time has jumped forward. I'm like, how did putting on clothes take so friggin' long?
Yeah, that happens to me every morning.
That doesn't make sense.
Every morning, I'm like, oh, like, well, wow, I'm going so fast. I totally have enough time. And then it's like, why am I late?
I'm like 7:24. This is fine. Next time I check, I'm expecting to be like 7:26, maybe. Nope, it's 7:35. And I'm like, huh?
Yep.
What? I am so curious about these little descriptions, Ori.
Yes, so I'm not working on the comic right now, and the reason for that is because, unfortunately, the comic has the latest deadline, even though I'm technically already behind. And the reason is that I have come into, not possession, but a situation where fucking everything is due this week, and, you know, that just happens every once in a while.
God.
So,
you know, it does. It really does.
I have this lovely bust that I have drawn that needs her 3 other party members drawn.
Hooks is the reason, but I wear scrubs to work. I don't understand this. I wear scrubs. I cut my hair short so I wouldn't be spending eons on it in the morning. And my
Yeah, I know, Estruk.
my face routine is not long at all. I don't understand.
Enthuse, if you don't,
Don't put
mind
on
my
makeup, like,
asking,
ugh.
what are you gonna do now? Because I feel like you're destined to be like a medieval scholar to a king. But like, that's not a job opportunity these days. So, where are we going? It is totally valid to say,
Professor is still an option.
But they're not. It's not the same, and you know it.
No, I know it's not the
Like, you
same.
know what
It's
I'm
a
talking
sloppy
about. I'm
second.
talking about like Enthuse should
I
have been like a
do.
wizard in a tower as like a profession.
Oh no,
you know?
absolutely,
Like
100%.
Jesus. Yeah, I have this lovely bust dichotomy. That's why I can't be on screen.
Yep. This is why we're PNG tubers. The world could not handle.
See, the hooks are not a problem for me, Mason. You put them on backwards and then you turn it around and you pull up the straps. Like, I don't hook it behind. That's too difficult. You only unhook it from behind.
Who does that?
Who does that?
You go in front, then you spin it around.
Yeah, and then you spin it around and pull the
swoop,
straps
and
up. Very easy. Mars sent me like a...
Oh, the one with the zipper.
I need
in
that.
front.
I need that really bad.
I want it.
I'm going
I want
for
so
it.
bad.
I think I'm gonna go for
I
it.
knew you were going to.
I'm gonna have to. I've been thinking about it. I really have.
I sent it to you.
Mars sent me these like chest binder thing. It was like someone, and they're like rating my favorite chest binders or whatever. And Mars is like, I might do this for the Lu Guang cosplay, and like because we're going as Lu Guang and Chung Shi for Anime NYC, and I was like, I have actually been thinking about getting one specifically. I mean, if you don't have anyone to teach you, Mason, like my mother taught me that, you know, like nothing else taught me that. Like my mother's,
I feel like that was a hack of our area.
Specifically taught it that.
Every mom in our area knew to do that.
I guess. But
nah, I'm not gonna take the Cami meal option.
But I had been thinking about getting one because I love patterned button-up shirts. But they do not fit my body type, like in the chest area. The buttons literally come undone. I'm very upset. It's always
truly
tight.
Tragic.
I'll like put on a sports bra and like some of them will work, but it's like I need a little more going on. So I've been thinking about it. And then Mars is like, oh yeah, we're being dudes for cosplay. And it's like, you know, that is a brilliant reason to do this. Cosplay.
It is. Well, that's gonna be my excuse when my package arrives.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't live with anybody. Who cares? So
If folks question it, I'll just be like, cosplay.
yeah,
You can't question this.
I don't know either of those words. Maybe. I think Wonder is a
No.
brand, is it not?
Maybe? I've never heard of these, to be honest.
Yeah, Wonder Bra is a brand. I don't know if that's like anything otherwise. Like they just have normal stuff.
But no, the one binder that I sent to Ori, one of the ones that ended up in the review, it had a zipper from the front.
Yeah, which is
And
pretty great.
Not only is that super convenient, but also like it almost looked like a shirt on its own. So I'm like,
Looked like a shit on its own. It did like the best job, they were saying, and I was like, yeah, that's what we need here. I need the heavy duty ones.
No, my parents are not conservative. Actually, they're very progressive. My mom is actually an activist. I got a lot in my family now that I think about it. But it's just one of those things where it's like, it's easier to say to them, this is a tank top for cosplay. I don't want to get into the whole
because
discussion.
there's also a difference between like, it's the nuance, I think, at a certain point. where it's like
Yeah,
it's one
it
thing
really
if you're
is.
like all right, like I'm doing this because like I'm trans. Like there's a level of like understanding you can get to there. But when it's like sometimes I just don't want to have these things, it's like a really like but so you're not you know, there's just like so many
Yeah.
it's the nuances. So many people think in just black and white. And when it's like,
Exactly.
nah, my identity is incredibly
my identity is I don't fucking care. Just
use
respect
the
me.
gay use the word like I'm not straight, I'm squiggly. And I'm like, this is too real. That's too
That is
real.
such
Yeah,
a
exactly.
mood.
Dichotomy. Like this is
Dichotomy,
too real.
when did you say
of a
that?
thing. Like a day or two ago in the dichotomy Discord. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's too perfect.
But it was like that is too real. I'm like, yeah, this is. Can we just have? You know what? There's another thing. And it was like
can I
I'm
just
gender
exist and wear
agnostic
stuff
or
that
whatever.
I enjoy.
Yeah,
Also,
exactly, Enthuse. Hello, Lex.
That would be so good for the gym as well.
That can be hit or miss. It depends on how much airflow you can get out of them. Because I know that, like, if you're binding really well, then, like, your
then
breathing
you're
is
not getting any
impeded.
air.
So it depends on, like, the level. But, like, you know, like you could get, like the better sports bra ones, basically. But
Very
there's a level
true.
from when it's like, no, you're doing this for an aesthetic over like function, right? Like there is a level of like, no, I need these to be away so that my shirt will fit right because I literally can't get the shirt to fit right otherwise.
Exactly. And that's what I'm going for
Yeah.
as Lu Guang.
Don't want the corset problem. No, that literally exactly what they are.
I don't want the corset problem
We
unless
do-
I'm actively
There's
seeking out a
one
corset.
guy.
Because they make some really good ones, and I'm like, God damn
There's
it.
one guy on the internet, and he's a dude, and his whole brand is like he specifically sells like corsets for men, and it's like, yes, like can we just let's just everybody wear whatever the fuck they want. It's not very
I'm
difficult.
still convincing Ori to draw our characters in said corsets because they would look so damn good.
And there's no reason besides Ori has too many shits to draw that has happened.
Sadly, this also be true. It was
Actually,
funny. I sent Ori a fan art. Not a fan art. It was actually OC art that creator did of their characters in the Cookie Run art style. And Ori just texted me back like, yeah, Cookie Run's like Genshin. Love the designs, but
yeah,
never gonna play.
the Cookie Run art is like epic as shit. And then obviously when people like make them like full human designs, it's like this is really cool. But as like a thing, it's like I don't have the time for this.
Ooh, do we got the guy, Ori?
What guy?
Lex is asking.
Oh,
for corset.
Maybe I could find it really fast.
Let's see. Let's see how our internet powers do.
I do pretty good.
No,
yep,
it's not Estrock.
I found it.
Although I did just find out that I have two
Let me make
annual
sure
meetings
This is the
on Friday the
actual-
13th of June. So I'm not happy about that.
Okay, I did find what I wanted, but it's not there. Okay, hold on.
Yes, you did hear corset from End Dichotomy. Yes!
Yeah.
vest!
Corset's
They're
vest.
so
That's what I'm talking
good!
about. Yeah.
And you can have matching ones.
The
That's
corset
even
vest.
better. Oh my god. I feel like Dichotomy might need this link too.
I want to get the specific one from the guy. You know, like there's a bunch that are like having the picture, but you know where it's like I don't know if it's them or not. I always see it on Instagram. I think it's this. Please be this. I can't.
Ugh.
Yes, it's this. This is the Instagram page. You should be able to find all their stuff. Yeah, okay, that's the website.
Located and found.
That's the website. There you go. Yeah, that's it, Dichotomy. Innova. Yep. That was it.
Yep, you got it.
Yep.
That's the one.
That's fine, Bugs. We love lurkers. My goal for stream is to talk so much that you guys don't have to, but we very much enjoy that you talk with us. But, like, the goal is to be more background noise than the other way around, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Boop. I mean, we are yappers by...
We're yappers by design.
So, we can do
Damn, Dichotomy. Very nice. I don't think we're not gonna get Dylan in one of those. Unova.
If only.
We're not gonna get Dylan in one of those. That's okay.
I think we were lucky that we were able to convince your mom of the dress that you wanted.
No, not at all. Actually, the biggest hurdle was the size of the wedding. That was really the biggest hurdle of the size. Was the size of the wedding? Was just like they really wanted to invite like all of the friends and family and stuff, but then it was very easy once it was like, no, I'm looking at the venues that I like have like caps at below 100 people. And so what I was like, no, this is the venue we like, and they liked it too. And that's like, no, we're doing a brunch wedding, not like, you know, a whole thing. But it's like, okay, I'm gonna tell you something in a second, Dichotomy, but yeah, that was the biggest hurdle, was like the size of it. After that, it was like, no, like it's fine. We're happy to do whatever.
Make their own corset bets. Do it, Lex. Level up. Level up. You can do it. We believe in you.
I don't think I could ever get Dylan into an actual corset dichotomy. For all of the person that he is, his father definitely ingrained some very, like, you have to be a man sort of things into him. So there is, like, while he's just, you know, very chill and open guy, for himself, he's not that, like, exploratory, I guess, you know, like, for those sort of things. He's not willing to do those. He's not into it. But we did dress up as Phoenix and Edgeworth for Halloween because Dylan owns a Phoenix and an Edgeworth vest. Literally the only things I had to purchase for our cosplays was the wigs and the jabot. Literally it. Had the tie. I had my own white collar shirt. See, but if we're doing Renaissance dichotomy, he wants to be the knight, like in full plate. That's the Dylan vibe, you know?
He wants
it's
to be
weird.
In the arm.
I gotta tell you, so he's an odd guy. He was very willing to like wear. He was painting, like his miniatures, and he didn't want to change into his like paint pants, right? That like can get paint on it, and he wanted to stay in like his good pants. And I was like, I have like apron. He was like, Ori, do you have aprons? I was like, yeah, I have aprons, but they're really like feminine. Like they're really girly. Like I made them. They're like really frilly, Dylan. And he's like, that's fine. I'm fine. Like we're just in the house, whatever. That's fine. I gave him the apron and he goes, oh no, I can't wear this. And I was like, what do you mean? You said you weren't going to be seen. Like, I thought you said it was fine. I was like, no, this is too much. His pants, really. Yeah, exactly.
This is
so instead.
Frills.
So instead, he opted to have a towel clipped around the back of his neck. It's a smock.
I mean, Lex, you have so many skills. Now's the time to start developing them. There's so much potential.
What are we leveling up? I've gotten lost in the chat.
We're
Ace
leveling
2D
up our
cosplays as
skills.
their Ace Attorney overlays designs IRL. Yeah, literally, Enthused. That was like my goal. Like I was like, that's what we're being for Halloween, Dylan. We did a photo shoot and everything. We have
it came
like
out so cute. Oh
yeah,
my god.
we have the photo shoot. We have like the blue badger like vibes coming up on Dylan. I made Dylan walk into the wall like Edgeworth would walk into the wall because we were playing Investigations 1 at that point. It was great.
It was so good.
Yeah, it's just around like that sort of stuff dichotomy, and it's very much from like his father upbringing because his dad is so you have to be a man that like his dad will not drink like mixed cocktail drinks because they're too feminine, versus my father, who I consider very manly, you know, carpenter, engineer, you know, all this sort of stuff, big guy, loves a good cocktail. And for my whole life, you know, I was doing mixologist stuff even when I couldn't drink. I liked to mix the drinks and find the recipes and pouring like gingerbread, all this sort of stuff. And my dad and all of the men in my family totally fucking down for that shit. You know, yep, they're all doing that. So like I couldn't even imagine. But so it is just like a uninnate sort of like was not innate, but like from a young age, this was imparted onto him.
That was just your experience.
I know, I was drunk. Biracial cocktails? I don't know how we got there.
Nothing's wrong with being a little fruity. We all need a little fruit in our lives.
Edgeworth did rock that frilly apron. I love when, like, MASH does it too. Very fun to me.
MASH and
Hello,
in the
Jayan.
apron was phenomenal.
It was great.
Hello, Jayan.
They got everybody else in there too. Okay, I'm trying to look at this here. I'm getting so much work done, guys.
Happening.
Dying of scurvy to own the mobs. The limbs, yes. Literally, though, yeah.
Guys, I will say this as someone
That's also
who
true.
is working with many students who are very, 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 very sick right now.
Oof.
Get your vaccines and wash your hands, please.
Yes.
I'm begging. For yourself. For your teachers. Please.
Okay, chat, help me out here. When you think Vengeance Paladin in D&D,
Ooh.
give me a vibe. Give me a vibe. Give me a colors. Give me motifs. Oh, I get it, Mason.
Well, we definitely gotta go
now.
muted colors.
Muted colors.
It's definitely gotta
That's
be
a
muted
lot,
colors.
Estrock. Damn, I have not.
I cannot imagine bright colors with a vengeance.
Vengeance Paladin. I know Dichotomy's here, so we need Dichotomy here. A silver.
Give him a silver corset vest.
Red, purple,
Dichotomy's
gold.
saying red, purple, and gold.
Okay, look at this. I'm on Pinterest. Look at this boy. I love them.
Ooh. Let's see.
Look at him. Splorbo acquired. Look at this little
Ooh.
man.
Wait a sec. Do I recognize that Blorbo?
I don't think he's a.
No.
Anduin?
Nope, not a clue. But Ori, I gotta say,
World
for a
of
second I thought it was
Warcraft.
Laios because of the lion on the armor.
Yeah, no, it's not Laios.
Bug says needs some gray.
Dark gray,
hair.
lilac, cornflower. How old are they? I don't get an age
I guess he
for
needs
this
some gray
description.
hair from the stress
Sure,
caused
gold,
by
beige,
his
navy,
vengeance.
blue. That new cyan. Second, the dark purple, muted purple. Okay, I think we're going with purple. They are a party, so I do like the purples because we can like vibe off this and make it more like purple. She has a
You can
lot
make
of
them
red.
cohesive after
Yeah,
this.
yeah, exactly. That's the goal.
And this one has some muted colors in it too.
Oh yeah, specifically. She's just more pinks than anything. Which was the vibes that I was going for. But this is more of a purple. We can keep this kind of
Now, I'm
this
curious,
gray
is
here.
this a character who's been around the block and seen shit, or is this a young character who is?
I
thrust
don't get
into
the
hardship and
information
is
that I
trying to
have.
fight
I'm going to
back?
tell you the information that I have. Androgynous, non-binary, half-elf vengeance paladin. They are beefy, wide with muscle but not fat, heavy armor, no helmet. That is the description.
Interesting. Okay.
The rest is up to me.
Ooh, oh, freedom! Let's go.
Yes. So the designs, we're going here.
We could do
Just
this.
think good, like. You're Steve.
Oh, the blonde guy looks too inexperienced.
Oh yeah,
No,
he's
for
just.
sure,
I
Lex,
just.
for
I literally
sure.
just looked
I'm
up
here
like
for the armor.
Paladin.
The armor looks phenomenal.
and I just really
Hello,
liked the art
Allie.
style. Hello, Ellie. This is apparently
Welcome. You made
Aladdin.
it.
Aladdin from World of Warcraft, but I literally just saw him and was like, oh, the blurb. Okay, it took me way too long to realize that the reason that my Pinterest page is full of white spaces is because I have ad block on.
Yep, that would do it.
Yeah, that would do it. Okay, the
designs
scarf.
for World of Warcraft looks so good, and I'm like, ooh, maybe I should play the game. Then I attempt it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I don't play this game.
Yeah. Ooh, this is good. I like
It's like
this.
Ori's Genshin effect. I will admire from afar.
I like
Allie,
this.
Ori is catching up on D&D characters in a party tonight.
Yes.
He's gotta design them.
This is.
Ooh, oh, that screams vengeance.
It's the crown gives 2 Oath of the Crown.
It
but
definitely is, but I
the
see
rest of the vibe
armor
is
and
here,
also
yeah.
the stance is
and
really
the colors.
nailing it for me.
Well, we are just doing the busts. Thank God.
I'm also curious. Do you think the armor would engulf
I like the hood though.
him? I'm imagining since he's beefy and wide with muscle, probably not.
Maybe. I think what I really like is having the like cowl hood bit.
Ooh.
Maybe like a mantle.
I could see that like a shroud.
Yeah. Ooh, like this. Please don't be AI. No, you're AI!
Ew!
Yeah.
Be gone!
Indeed. Flint and steel indeed.
Congratulations, Allie! We got another graduate in here.
Oh my god! Congratulations! Graduate number 2!
Yes. Ori, we've collected 2 of them now.
We are. You guys are coming to the world of us. Postgraduates.
Yes.
Unless
Oh my
some of you
gosh,
going are to
enjoy
like
it, Allie. I hope you and Enthuse
graduate
got to
school.
celebrate. Yes. Are you going to be like Mars and Dylan?
Oh, I don't know
and
if I
suffer some
missed your
more?
answer to my question or not, Enthuse. I'm sorry if I did.
Ooh,
Okay,
Scrabble
I'll
Club.
use it.
Nice, Estrock.
Ooh, very nice. Yeah, we're gonna get rain too. Yesterday and today were gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Enthuse, excuse me, who are you calling old? Pardonnez-moi. What? Nani?
Everyone's old when you're not as old. Okay, I will admit, while Pinterest is fucking rife with, like, AI, they do have tags on them now.
That is a
Which
plus.
is, like, if AI has to stick around, I prefer that.
At least if you're going to shove it in my face, label it as shit so I know to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I ask. I also ask for it not to be there in general,
Okay.
but you know,
This one looks good, too. Can I see?
if wishes were hope. You
That
are going to suffer more, Allie? Oh,
Oh,
man.
no.
Oh, snap. You're going the route. Talking about ages, I think the funniest thing I've heard is when I'm doing Mother's Day and Father's Day
that one's
activities
suspicious,
with
too.
my students. And, you know, we're working on WH questions, so you gotta get a how question in there. Yes, even though it's just an H, it does count as a WH question. I don't know who decided that, but that's just how it is. And one of them is, how old is your mom or how old is your dad? Because we're trying to make like a little all about you
You've
card for
reached
them.
Dylan age, Estrock, for a month.
Some of the answers I get from my kids are hilarious. They'll tell me, my mom is 5. My mom is 80. My mom's 200.
For
I'm like,
years,
okay, that's what you said. That's what's going on the sheet.
for years,
Yes, for years.
my parents had these like things I made in like elementary school, like kindergarten or something, hung up on the wall. It was for like one for Mother's Day, one for Father's Day. And it was like, yeah, questions about your parents, like what's their favorite color, what's their height, what's their, you know, like all this sort of stuff. And so it's like something that was like I was keyed in, and then other things it's like I had no fucking
Not a
clue.
I
Well,
mean,
it's
yes,
like-
dichotomy. There is a W in how, but not in the way you would think of it. Like, the main ones are
Yeah.
what, who, where, when, why.
Dylan's 27.
And then when you throw how in there, people are like, but it's not
How old did we think we were?
WH. Like, it still counts.
Did you think he was older or younger, Estruck? Now I'm concerned. How old do you guys think we are?
Ooh, dun, 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 dun. Let's play the game show. Woo! Mid-30s!
Why do we feel
Okay,
that
guys,
old?
I
I
guess
mean,
I'll-
in
guess I'll
internet
just
years, I guess
go
technically.
to my corner and go take my back pain medicine.
Wow. Okay.
I also
don't
need to submit
like
my
30s are that bad.
401k.
You weren't that far off. Not mid 30s though, but like Jesus. You're too scared
Wow,
too.
dichotomy.
I thought Link was. This is a wild area. Guess it's because he's a
This is
lawyer.
great.
He is rather young in his cohort. This is very true. Like he, like overall, like all of his friends are like mid 30s. This is very true. But he went like run from the other. That's how old we'll be when we finish Ace Attorney.
Is how old we'll be when we finish
Exactly.
AA.
We
That's
don't
true.
finish.
That's
We
very
don't finish.
true.
We don't plan on leaving anytime soon or ever. But let's keep that one. Okay, we'll do this.
Markiplier doesn't age.
Yeah, seriously.
He's like a fine
Markiplier,
wine.
Captain Sparkles, Hank Green. I feel like they've always been the same. You look back and it's like, wow, they were young. But it's like the concept of them seems fairly accurate consistently.
They're very consistent. Yeah.
You've been Dylan since January? Okay, so you guys are... So Estrock and Penguin, you are born the same year as Mars and I. Dylan is 1 year older. That is how it works.
That is how the ages work around
We're not
here.
that old, okay?
And
I guess we
I'm
just...
the baby
I'm
of the
gonna
group
say,
because
I
my
guess...
birthday is later in the year.
I'm gonna take... Yeah, Mars is the baby. I'm gonna take this as though that we just have our life together.
Interpret that how you will.
That's how I'm gonna interpret that.
I'm gonna feel the same way some days, and other days I feel like no.
That's how I'm interpreting it. You would have guessed like 26.
I mean,
Allie, you're correct.
If you
Yes, we are
perceive
26.
me as having my shit together, then okay, I'll take it.
Yes, I'm glad that most people are on the the level. Oh, that's absolutely the
Ooh, we
reason.
got a
See,
nice
there you go.
color
See,
palette
I'm
going
taking it
on
as a
here.
compliment. We take it in stride. I'm fucking watching myself. I'm attempting to make different Ace Attorney content for the channel in addition to the Let's Plays, just for funsies, because the content exists. And one of those things is a brain. I'm duty to make that first. But oh my lord, one of those things is words. A Pass to Smash video of the stream.
Ah, okay.
Related to the stream, and it kind of has like
hello.
a little hello Federico, a little like lead in of us talking about the
Willow,
Pass
hello.
to Smash character during Smash Your Pass. Hello, Willow. Kind of funny how your age changes over time. I realized I didn't realize why. Someone said something, and it was like, "This is why," and it's because when you're younger, you've lived less life, so a year is more percentage of your time that you know. But as you age, there's more years that you've had, so 1 year is less time in the span of your lifespan. So it's like, that's how it works. And I was like, oh, very interesting. I do need to make one, Enthuse. As you can tell, mine's gone missing.
It's okay. We will find it eventually.
But yeah, I plan to be 60 on the internet as long as it's still around and making these sort of videos just for funsies.
I do hope to be 60 and on the internet.
I hope we're doing exactly what we're doing now. Being pals and
gotta teach the young'uns.
I hope we're being pals and playing games. This is not the pen that I wanted. Get wiser and you don't have to crack more often. You know, guys, I'm gonna tell you a secret. It's very easy.
If you do the exercises and you
it's not even exercise.
The squats.
If you stretch your limbs and your joints, you'll be fine. I love stretching.
Stretch.
Especially if you sit around all day. Oh God, gotta stretch. It's like not long, like 30 minutes
You have
max.
multiple perspectives to learn from.
Okay, I gotta make this character really, really androgynous.
You'll live that long, Mason. You're younger than us. You'll definitely live.
Yeah, come on. Calisthenics, exactly. Calisthenics. You know that's good if you want to wait. Ew.
It could be good stretching.
I love stretching.
Guys, when COVID was happening, I missed my college gym so much. I used to go there frequently, especially with my roommate. We'd go to Zumba, we'd go to cycling, and it was so good. It was so fun. Missed it so much when COVID happened. I literally had to make my own stretch playlist, like music to stretch and exercise to. I still have the playlist, I'm pretty sure. If anyone needs it to start their stretch
I've also
routine.
done I've followed belly dancing things. They're just fun. It's fun.
Those are just fun.
And they
I started
stretch
doing
too.
some weightlifting, and oh my gosh, it's really come in handy with my kiddos.
Yeah, Mars is a little Twombly weak arms.
Not anymore, bitch. You haven't seen me in 3 months.
That is very true.
I got muscle now.
No, dude.
Wombly arms. No way.
Yeah, the stretching's good.
Yeah.
And the cracking is not necessarily a bad thing. It's the pain. If it's painful, that's a problem. The cracking is just like can happen at any age. I gotta tell this story. I think it had to be middle school or elementary school. There's a girl. We didn't like this girl. Like, I didn't like her. She didn't like me. I didn't like her because she didn't like me. And there's a whole thing. And yeah. Long story short. I don't recall
this drama in middle school, so it had to be elementary
I'm gonna say it's elementary school. Basically, the reason that I didn't like her is I was driven to school. I didn't get a bus in elementary school. My mother drove me. We lived very close to the school. And my mother would walk into the school with me to walk me to my door. And we would say goodbye there. And this girl would cry every time that happened because her mom didn't do it. And I was forced to not have my mom do that because this girl couldn't fucking suck it.
So
and
wait,
she didn't like me.
She deprived you of your mom lovingly dropping you off each morning because her mom, she couldn't take it?
Because she couldn't stand that her mom couldn't do it. Yeah, really, right?
Wow.
And so I didn't get my mom to do that anymore. Kind of cringe, yeah, right? She was kind of cringe.
Kind of cringe, yeah.
We in 4th and 5th grade, you had to be a part of the choir.
Sorry,
you were required.
Your mom doesn't love you.
Haha, you were required.
Sorry.
That's why she was crying, Mars. Yeah, exactly. But like, why did I have to get fucking shunted for it? You know, come on.
Yeah.
And so we were in choir, and we're like standing, and we're like at a performance, right? We're performing. We're at the concert. That's the word I want. And she just would randomly squat all the way down. We're on the risers. We're all standing. We're all singing. And in the middle of singing, she would just squat all the way down and come back up. And my mother's like, what is, like she tells me later, she's like, what was she doing? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it was weird. And I was like, yeah, it is weird. It was very distracting. Everyone was like, what the hell's going on? And so I asked her, like, the next day, because she kept doing it, like, the next day. Again, we are 4th or 5th graders right now, okay? Young, elementary school. And she goes,
Little babies,
oh, it's because my
if you
knees
were.
crack. And I wanted to hear it again. Age just has nothing to do with the knees cracking, guys. They crack at any age. Yeah, right, Emily? Seriously, though, I think... I was literally talking with Dylan earlier. I was definitely... A lot of people tried to bully me throughout my, like, school years, but I gave no shit. I gave so little shits.
Or you were one of the most chill people in the friend group. Like, even when we had that whole like situation middle and high school, it's like you were the most chill throughout all of it. Oh, like, goddamn.
Yeah, she wanted to hear her knees crack, Allie, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Struck.
Nothing phases this woman.
Nope. I'm pretty chill.
Power to ya.
But yeah, literally in, like, I was telling the story, in elementary school, I would take white rice in a thermos and then the duck sauce packets. And I would put duck sauce on my white rice. I love duck sauce. And the kids were like, you know that duck sauce has duck in it, right? Ew, you know, you can't believe you're eating ducks. And I'm like, no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It says so on the package. like I could read, like it's 3rd grade. It says apricot. Duck is not a word on this list. And they just kind of walked away.
Check and mate.
Yeah. No, seriously. I got a superlative in middle school. Yeah, it was middle school. And I was a superlative, and I was like, I think the superlative was most creative or something like that. Or most unique. It was most unique. That's what it was. It was most unique. And I was given it with that guy who had well, the first letter of where his initials were the same letter, but they made different sounds, if that makes any sense to you, Mars.
Okay, I know who you were talking about.
Yeah, and he was the guy given it. Right. And so when we found out
that he got it.
Well, no. So when we found out that he got it, basically everyone knew that, like, yeah, this was a slight. People were trying to slight me. And I gave no shits. I didn't like the kid either. He was an odd bird.
For
but
some reason in middle school, our classmates thought that creative was an
well, it was
insult.
unique. It was unique.
Meanwhile, we're just sitting there like, thank you.
Well, yeah, I was just like, no, this is fine.
I was like, this is chill. Why do you think you're insulting me?
Yeah, exactly, Mason. It's because it's served with duck. Yeah, I don't know, Penguin. Yeah, baby oil definitely made of babies.
Was an actual thing.
Yeah, he was an odd duck. Yeah, an odd bird. He was a certain level. It's one of those things where, like, looking back, there's definitely,
I have
like,
a story about this kid.
Oh, really?
I have a story about him. Well, this is from high school.
Okay, yeah. He just was very annoying about all this stuff. He was a little too pompous.
Why.
Otherwise, he would have been chill. Like, I wouldn't have cared if he wasn't so pompous about it.
He was okay in elementary school, but then, like, as he got older, it was like, okay, now you're a bit much.
Now he's like,
not in the fun way. Now it feels like
Your
you got an
beef
air
goes
about
crazy.
you. But no, in high school, I forget why I was going to this thing, but it was an interview for something. I don't remember if it was a college interview or an internship interview or scholarship interview. It was a scholarship interview. That was it. I was applying for a scholarship. And this was being held at night. It was after school hours. My dad had to actually drive me to this thing. He was waiting in the parking lot. I'm like all dressed up, ready to go in, make a good impression. And, you know, I do my best. I talk to the interviewers. I give them the answers that they're looking for. And as I'm leaving the room, they're like, okay, the committee will talk. We'll be in touch with you. I'm like, oh, thank you so much for your time, blah, blah, blah. I leave. As I'm walking out, now the meeting was being held on the second floor of the school. So when I saw the guy we were talking about walking past me, I knew he was there for the same reason. And I just see him go past and I'm like, well, there goes that scholarship. They're going to give it to him. I got no chance.
Yeah.
The one thing I will always remember about this kid, he did not carry a backpack. He had a messenger bag for a while. But I do remember before that
he had a messenger
freaking
bag.
briefcase
Yes!
to school.
Oh,
He brought a whole briefcase. And I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised he didn't win best dress because he was always in buttoned-up collar shirts. You would have thought
but the best dress was totally like popular kids. You know, that was the whole thing.
Absolutely.
He was too outcast to be a thing.
About like the latest brands and everything.
But it's one of those things where it's like
he literally looked like a mini businessman.
Yeah,
he would wear suits. He would wear the button-up shirts.
And it was one of those things where it's like,
I'm like
he could have been like a fun guy to hang out with if he wasn't like really uptight and persnickety. Persnickety is the best. Like any interaction with him was never like
briefcase, Sally.
But it's like I'm sitting here thinking like it would have been cool to be like friends with this guy's concept. But like every interaction I ever had with him was like, you need to shut up or I will slap you in the face. Like, why are you being like this? Like, there's a level of like
teachers and adults saw him as a mini adult. So
yeah,
when he came
and
in
went
for
to
that
his
scholarship,
head.
I'm like, oh well,
went to his head.
I'm not getting that scholarship. It's going to him.
What did he do? Bounce the books in his head.
Books in his head. Maybe Federico. I don't know. I remember playing with him.
Yeah, exactly, Penguin.
In elementary school, because he went to the same elementary school as me. We were in the same class a couple times. So literally, I knew this kid throughout my whole childhood. And it's like, he could have been Federico. He could have been Boss Baby. But when you get to be Boss Teenager, it's like...
there might be a struggle.
Please stop.
No, the briefcase is pretty insane. Yeah,
the briefcase
it's one of those things where like
I remember he switched to the messenger bag in senior year.
Yeah, I remember the messenger bag vividly.
But I do remember the messenger bag.
Like that's his like aesthetic in my head.
That was his calling card.
It's like button-up shirt.
Was the briefcase.
It's usually short-sleeved, button-up shirt with the khaki slacks and the messenger bag. Like that was
Literally
like he could have been a cartoon character.
Like it's serious.
Like he wore the same shit.
He
like
was
he was
the main character of his own story.
It's one of those things where he was like really iconic, but the personality was just shit, right? And it's like because I'm sitting here and talking about him, and it's like, oh, you know, maybe we were too harsh on him, and then it's like, no. I remember like talking with him and it being like, yeah,
baby Godot.
You need to dial it back. Oh my god.
Oh my god. It's so funny that you mentioned the yearbook thing, because that just dragged up all the memories.
Yeah.
Was he like Eustace? Ooh.
No, he wasn't dumb. That was the problem.
Had the smarts to back it up.
Everything he said
was factual.
He's the embodiment of the Dunning-Kruger effect. He knew a good amount of a lot of things at an age where you wouldn't, but so to him, but he wasn't knowledgeable enough where he got past the point that he could understand him being wrong was an idea, right? So it was like sometimes he would be wrong, but you could not let him know that because he would not engage. Right? So that's like, it wasn't like, I'm winning. It was like, actually, but not as like greasy about it. It very like, actually.
Like young Sheldon.
Very young Sheldon, but not as
like that. Well,
smart.
Actually, if you consider it from this angle.
Would you even notice? Yeah, I don't know, Struck. I don't know if you would notice. It'd just be the same.
Yeah, Penguin, he carried a briefcase with his textbooks and his notebooks in it.
Yep.
Like the kid from the Polar Express. Yeah, that honestly.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, that was the most apt comparison we had for him.
No, that's pretty good.
There were some characters in our high school and middle school days.
Oh yeah.
Like we had a good amount.
But it's definitely like I'm sitting here talking about it, and I had a moment just now of being like, maybe he wasn't that bad, and we were just being judgmental like everybody else. And then it was like, no, he was kind of annoying.
No,
the personality was the part that was really a little, very Polar Express kid, 100%.
Yeah,
very Polar Express kid. Vibes.
Nearly had the voice to match. In all honesty.
Just a little less
younger.
Nasally annoying.
Less nasally, but still had that like tenor.
Yes, 100%. And the cadence was there.
Which Polar Express kid? The kid with the glasses in yellow.
Yeah, and he goes, and he basically literally goes, actually, this is a 1947 caboose car that was powered by the electricity or whatever. Like, I don't even know what the fuck he says, but that's what he does. And then every time that he's on screen, he's just like, oh no, actually, we should do this. And it's just like, oh god, envy. Sicko mode or Mo Bamba?
Mo Bamba?
I don't know.
I'll go for sicko mode. I at least recognize those words.
Yeah. Glad he's known for that meme.
Yeah. That was wild. That brought up a core memory.
All right, I gotta get water, Mars. Be right back.
All right, I shall entertain the masses. Glad he's known for that meme. I mean, it's pretty iconic, Estrock. It's pretty iconic indeed. I'm trying to think if there are any more stories about him. The snort. Actually. He never snorted. He never did that. It was just... I didn't hang out with him too much in high school. It was mostly, like, for me personally, it was more like saw him in the hallways in passing. Maybe like a quick hi bye and that was it. We hung out a little bit more in elementary school, and even then it was just on the playground, like hanging out. He never like came over to the house. We were never like close. Who has a generational performance ish? Oh, Lightus and Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Okay, you want to talk about an iconic performance? That performance was iconic. God, how many core memories are you guys going to drag up for me tonight? These are too many to process. Friggin' lies. I feel like he was what we all imagined our bullies sounded like behind closed doors. Have him expelled!
I gotta give the basest, the what I think is the coolest fucking Ori lore. And this Ori lore is that 2 times, I think once was in elementary school, and I'm pretty sure the second had to be in middle school? I'm not sure, actually. Definitely once in elementary school. I think once in middle school. I was in the talent show. Now, I want you guys to think about what I was in the talent show only twice for. I was in the talent show 2 more times in high school. But in elementary school and middle school, I was not alone for any of these talent shows. I was never a solo act. What did I do? Twice. In elementary school and once in middle school for the talent show. I wanna see the guesses.
I'm gonna say, since we're going off of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, you reenacted Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
No.
I'm gonna go with group dance.
Okay.
Okay, S-Drop is
burping the
alphabet.
With other people? That's an interesting one.
It could be a cappella.
That is true. I mean, I write your memories bet it would be a good thick book. I remember a
Penguin,
lot of
that
things.
Was crazy. When I learned that, I was like, no, really?
Singing. Mm-hmm. That's an option.
Singing's definitely an option.
I don't think anyone's gonna guess it. I'll give it a minute more while I jam out to the bad song.
Pretty nuanced.
Mm-hmm. All right, we ready? Twice.
Let's do it.
I
Grand reveal.
was a magician's assistant. In high
Now,
school,
who did you assist for?
I assisted for a kid that in elementary school was definitely considered the class clown and gave a lot of Stitch energy as a human.
Okay, that is a wild sentence, but makes so much sense.
Yeah, that was the kind of person was. And, yeah, I did not get cut apart. But I did get to wear this sparkly, like, blue dress at one point. It was very fun. And I was very honored to be, like, picked as a person. This kid definitely didn't have a lot of friends. But I was his friend. He was a fun guy. I had fun with him. I was not cut in half. Yeah, he picked me twice. Yeah.
What kind of
I'm trying to remember.
Tricks did he perform?
I know to this day. I know a card trick that I know from him. Yeah, one definitely had to be middle school because that card trick I got taught in the choir room in that middle school. So yeah, one was definitely middle school. Yeah, I was not sawed in half. We didn't have a lot of big tricks like that. Again, middle school, like 6th grade and like 5th grade is like the ages we did this. But I have a card trick that I know from him that I will remember forever because I think it's hilarious. And while it's one of those things that's like, I think hard to pull off towards adults now, if they're drunk or high, they think it's fucking nuts. And that was my college experience, was using this trick that I learned in 6th grade to impress numerous drunk people. Which is pretty
beautiful.
Great. I remember another one that had like these balls that changed colors. There was like the cup with the moving ball and the disappearing stuff, all that sort of stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
Jayan, you
that
think
happens
that's
a lot.
Ori had a friend who shipped actual people. Not me, surprisingly, not me. Someone else.
Yeah.
I think they shipped you with somebody.
Yes, they did ship me with someone, and they wrote fan fiction about it that I forcibly, aggressively removed from their person and shredded into a garbage can. because I did not want to think about what could possibly be in that fan fiction, because at that time, the fan fiction I was introduced to was definitely smut. And so it was like, I thought that was horrifying, and I was very upset about this fact, about any of that possibly being written about me. And I was like, yep, you do not deserve to have this. And this was written on paper, so it wasn't like digitized, so that is lost. That is lost to time. Thank the fucking Lord. I never read it. I didn't read a single moment of it. I don't think anyone else actually did. I think I fucking, like, sniped that real fast. That was not gonna be a thing. But other talent show things I did do an a cappella rendition with 3 other friends of This Is Gonna Be the Best Day of My Life by American Authors. I think that's what that song is called. I think that's that group.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. And then twice I did a martial arts demo with a bunch of other people who went to the same martial arts class that I did. And I remember I can't remember what the first time the song was, but the second time the song was to Phoenix by Fall Out Boy. Very fun
Not
stuff.
to be confused with Phoenix, right?
Yeah, right, Struck? I can't believe it either. Horrifying. Horrible. Yeah. You can see why I reacted like I did. I was not going to be a thing that anyone was going to read because that was horrifying.
Yeah, nope.
No, that did not need to exist. I'm glad I removed it from existence. No regrets. And because, as Mars said, I was so chill, everyone backed the fuck off after that.
See, that's the thing. When you are so chill and you have your snap moment, people know not to fuck with you.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Indeed. But yeah, I know a lot of people don't remember a lot of things from their, like, elementary school, middle school, even high school days. I got a lot of memories up in here, man. Oh, boy. I remember a lot of shit from all of those ages. Just, like, it's
I feel like my
mostly,
memories are so sporadic and all over the place when it comes to what I remember and what I don't. There are some things that are very distinct, and then there's others where it's, like, faint whispers of images, you know?
I see.
Like,
yeah,
maybe
I wouldn't
I'll have a story. Maybe I won't.
I
It
definitely
depends.
don't have, like, you know, play-by-plays or anything like that. But I definitely do have, like, nope, I remember this happening and this happening and this happening. A fair amount. It's very interesting because I don't think of myself this way, but it's very interesting because, so Dylan has mentioned before that he was a fairly fight-prone child up until, like, 10th grade of high school. He was on the slightly more physically violent side.
But till Ori set him straight.
No. See, what's actually hilarious is that sitting here thinking back, yeah, I fucking decked a few people. I fucking did. It was never like...
That's just kind of what you do.
I was never the instigator, but it was like, no, you don't fucking mess with me. You know what I was like? You don't fucking mess with me. It was so funny.
You're gonna get socked in the face.
In 2nd grade, there was a boy versus girl war in heavy air quotes, right? And I don't even know what the goal of that was, but at one point, basically, a bunch of
Was
the
that
boys.
a school sanctioned thing?
No. It was like the whole. It was not sanctioned by the school in any way, but it was at recess, like altercations would happen again. With no goal of my understanding, and I remember one day I was walking with my friends, and these boys all came up and, like, bear hugged us. Again, we're like, what is 2nd grade? Like 6, 7? We're 7, okay? So we're not that old.
7, I think.
I had been taking martial arts at that point, okay? And I took martial arts for many, many years. The guy who grabbed me, the boy who grabbed me, I flipped him, like, very easily. And then I broke out the rest of my friends. I was the one who got punished, of course, but I got out of it.
The injustice of it
I got
all.
out of it because basically I was put on the bench. That's what you did. You know, that was your punishment for recess. You're put on the bench and you have to sit out at recess.
The teachers love that.
It was
damn
only
bench.
like 2 minutes before recess was over when I sat on the bench, and they're like, "You'll have to come back tomorrow or whatever." But I think it was a Friday. So by time Monday came around, they had forgotten. I knew that I should sit on the bench, but I fucking didn't. And they didn't come get me. So we were Gucci. I barely sat on the bench. But what I think is hilarious is the kid who grabbed me, who I flipped, he actually lived in my neighborhood, fairly close to where my childhood home is. And he would come because the library is very close to my childhood house. And he would go to the library because that's where the kids hung out, guys, was at the library, around the library, on your BMX bikes, around the library.
Well, because the library had a park,
Yeah,
They
and
also
baseball
had
fields.
a cafe where
They
you
had
could
ice cream
buy
inside.
stuff for
The ice cream
25
guy would come
cents.
around. When baseball
was
season was in,
great.
they had a concession stand outside. They had a
They had a big
playground.
field you could play
Yeah,
in.
they had a
The
bunch of stuff.
library's fantastic.
I'm the bench criminal. But so he like lived in my neighborhood, and he like was not. I saw him like walking to the library when I was walking, and I was like, "Oh, hey, it's you!" And he was like, No, it's not." And I was like, "Yeah, you're so and so." And he's like, "No, I don't know who any of them." He was horrified of me for. We're talking the rest of our careers, okay? Like the rest of our like school time. Terrified. I traumatized that man. I traumatized him.
It sounds like he deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, he fucking grabbed me, but like, yeah.
I wonder what would happen if you met him nowadays. We'd be like, ah!
It's so funny. I had such the experience of I'm not really good at paying attention to people, if that makes sense. Not in the sense of like you're talking to me, I'm not paying attention, but more like I'm in a class, I won't know who everyone in the class is. Unless they like specifically are interacting with me very often, right? Or you're like my friend or something. I don't really know you. But everyone knew me, which is a very weird experience. So I'd be like walking down the hall and be like, "Oh yeah, like just I would know that these face-wise, right? These are kids from my class, but I do not know their names, and like they're like in a different social circle than I am. So it's like we're not hanging out or anything. And they'd just be like, "Oh, hey, Ori." And so I'm like walking by, I was like, hi, because it was one of those times when it's like, you know, it was that era where people would like bully you by pretending to be like your friend or like pretending to ask you out or some shit like that. So it was always like, why are you doing this? Right? You know, it's like always like a this is weird. But that I have even in college, I like didn't know anybody, and then I like went. So I went to college 6 hours from where I lived, right? And then I came back to my childhood home, where I took my cousins to a Friendlies to hang out. And going to the Friendlies, 2 people from my college, again 6 hours away, were like, "Oh, Ori?" And I'm like, I have no idea who these people are. And they're like, "Yeah, we saw you at the thing." And I was like, "Oh." I'm like, "Oh, what?" High school was a
crazy when
bookworm.
you come across college people.
Definitely was a
around your
bookworm.
hometown. Because especially if you go away, then it's like, whoa, you were closer to me than I thought. What the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly, Allie. I don't understand. Like it's like, I don't know why you know me, right? Like I don't feel like I'm doing anything. You know, why are you here?
Meanwhile, I'm like, I'll be in the background. If people know me, cool. If they don't know
I
me,
guess,
that's
like I
also
said,
fine.
I guess I just lived, you know, life very, I was a good kid. I didn't get in trouble. I did my work, and you know, and I was just, I enjoyed school. Okay, you know, it's a rare thing, but I always liked school. I liked to learn. You know, even classes that I didn't like, I usually had teachers that I thought were really cool and really fun. And so I enjoyed participating.
It's really funny that you mention it that way, because I feel like I had the opposite experience where it was like, every so often I feel like people were reminded that I existed because I do something, like not wild, but something I guess memorable. Because there were these instances every so often. It's like, oh yeah, that's Mars. She did that. It's like they were never bad things. It was more just like Mars got trampled in the gym. Mars hit the ball and it went
what
flying
a
into
time.
Teacher's stomach. Mars went sliding down a hill trying to climb it.
And instead you get Ori punched a teacher in the face. And it's like, because he asked me to twice. And I double clarified. You ran down a teacher? What?
No. I'm gonna have to tell the story. I feel like I have told this story. I can't believe that I haven't. But basically, in elementary school, we were in our softball unit.
Dichotomy.
And we weren't using the little T-ball. We weren't using the little stand thing to hold the ball.
Damn,
the teachers were actually throwing the ball to us for us to hit it. Now, I'm not a sports person. I've never really been a sports person aside from dance and flag line. That is it. But teacher makes you participate. You gotta do it. So I was forced into it against my will. But I don't remember what grade this is, but I was definitely young at the time. I go up to bat. I missed my first two. Surprise, surprise, to absolutely no one. Meanwhile, you got all these kids taking this game way too friggin' seriously. Like, oh my god, they cared so much about winning. And it's like, the big thing in our gym class was we had these mats against the wall and everyone loved to bang them. So anytime someone went up to the mat, they'd be like, let's go, Mars! Let's go! Dun, dun, dun. And it's like, okay, you're cheering me on right now, but this just feels like extra pressure and I don't like it. So I'm like sweating buckets.
Oh, you have told this story. I know what this one is.
I must have. There's no way I haven't. But I'm sweating buckets. I missed the first two shots. The crowd's just getting louder and louder. They're like screaming at me. So I'm like, I gotta hit this. I gotta hit this next one. And the teacher, just tosses the ball. And shock of shocks, I actually did hit it. But it went straight back to the teacher and hit him right in the stomach. And the poor guy doubled over and started coughing.
Yeah.
And for a second, I'm like, oh God, what have I done? Meanwhile, so we had two gym teachers and the classes were actually split. So it was like one teacher's team versus the other teacher's team. That's how it worked. And you usually had two classes participating in gym. So the other teacher's laughing his ass off. While the other guy is
just coughing
in the
and
middle
wheezing.
of the floor. Just coughing. And I'm like frozen. I'm terrified I'm going to get in trouble. Meanwhile, my team is screaming at me, run! Run!
Yeah. You're like,
I don't know what to do. So I took off because at that point, fight or flight had kicked in. And at that point, I was like ready to run out of the gym. I just ran to first base. We did not win that round, though. I never made it to home because the next person got out on the next hit. So I was like, oh, well, please don't hate me as I walk to the field. I'm like trying to avoid eye contact with this teacher because I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But yeah, everyone in that gym class knew me after that one.
It's all about the reaction, right? I punched a teacher in the face because he asked me to twice, and I clarified twice, and he said, do it. And so I did. And I did not even do it full strength because I was still like, I don't want to punch a teacher, but like, I'm also
like,
such like a good child that I'm like, he's asking me to do it, right? And so like, after that happened, it was like,
you feel like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Why did you do that? It was like, you told me to. And he's like, I guess you're right.
He's
like, and he was like,
I have no excuse.
Yeah.
You're right, child.
You're right.
Are absolutely right. My poor
it's like if you go literally like make a spectacle of Ori, come up, and it's like, okay, I come up, punch me in the face. Really? No, don't do that. Okay, go sit down. Okay, later, same day, just a little later. All right, come up here. Okay, punch me in the face. Really? Yeah, do it. Bam,
boom.
He was just like, I was like, are you okay? And he's like, I don't know. I didn't expect you to do. I also think that he just didn't expect me to be like as strong as I was. You know, I was a fairly small child until like 10th grade. So I was a small little girl, very girly, like wore dresses, all that sort of stuff. But I'm over here taking martial arts for like a couple years at that point. You know, I knew how to throw a punch, and I think he was just shocked that this nerd, you know, girly flower child was like, yeah, gave him a hit. Literally, I found out later on that he like went and got his face x-rayed because he was concerned.
Oh,
and I was
Jesus.
like, didn't mean to.
You're like,
Ori is Pearl.
Well,
I was not as sheltered as Pearl. I was a little sheltered. I didn't. I
you
don't
were
have any
watching
over.
SpongeBob. That's how we know you.
Until 10. Until 10. You know, like I wasn't that old that I couldn't watch it. But like I was definitely on the. I was definitely on the more naive side of all of my friends. I had no siblings, and my parents were fairly like, you know, no cursing, you know, like you can't walk outside of the neighborhood, you know, alone and all this until you're like much older, you know, and all this sort of stuff. So I was like definitely a little fairly naive in the area versus like the two friends that were like my best friends at the time both had older brothers. So that's where I got most of my knowledge from, was them.
Ooh. I just saw your new reference sheets, Allie, in the sketchbook.
Oh, let me see.
Beautiful.
Yes, we're talking about Art Fight on Thursday, guys.
Yes! Oh, I'm so excited for that. I cannot wait.
Ooh.
Art fights too.
Ooh, and the little emblem. Fun.
Love that. I love the expression. Especially
great.
that last one. It just has so much personality.
I like the middle one, the. I like that one. Good stuff.
You forgot how hair worked? That valid. Very valid. Hair is tough sometimes.
Do you have a no I ran moment?
No, I ran moment. Let me think. No, I ran.
I don't think so. The closest I could get is one day,
Oh, I think I might have a no, I ran moment.
I did get to walk
I
home from
accidentally
school
kicked
with
my
my
friend in the face and then ran away from him.
Yeah, I would not say I really have a nope, I ran kind of moment.
I think that would be my no, I ran. Felt really bad about it after the fact too, but that was just the pure like, what have I done? Become a thief on the night, become a dog on the run.
Never recover.
I will never recover, Alec.
Yes, no, gonna art fight. Gonna art fight everyone.
My friend did get some baby tooth money out of that though, so it wasn't all bad.
I lost a couple baby teeth in odd ways. One of them was I was at Costco and I got one of those hand-dipped ice creams, right? And I was eating it and I got to and like it's kind of that chocolate is thick, right? Like that chocolate is pretty thick. So it's kind of hard to bite through. I got to a point and I'm a child and I didn't realize that the part I had gotten to was actually the stick. And I thought it was just a hard part. So I bit really hard and my tooth came loose. And I'm like sitting in the shopping cart at Costco. Like we're just sitting in the shopping cart. And I like had a panic moment. I had like loose teeth before, so it wasn't like it was my first, but it like came from not loose at all to suddenly loose. And I was like freaking out. So I like tried to push it back into place and I pushed it out. Just fell out.
See, it's really funny because my first tooth that I ever lost came from when I was eating on an apple, which, you know, that's fairly common. It's crunchy, it's gonna knock out something that's loose. And I had known it was loose, but like I never lost one before. And surprisingly, That one didn't freak me out. Like, I bit on the apple and then I felt something hard in my mouth. And I'm like, huh, I can't chew through this. I wonder what it is. So then I realized, I'm like, oh, Mom, what is this? And my mom's like, honey, that's your tooth. And she explains the whole like process and everything. But it was every tooth after that I was terrified of either ripping out or like knocking out. So I'd always like wait until it was super loose and then it's like, okay, this probably won't hurt if I pull it.
Yeah, I definitely
And
didn't
I actually
rip teeth out. I couldn't do that. I never did the string or the anything like that.
I never did string, even though my dad like joked a
Yeah,
million
my
times,
dad
like,
too.
come on, we'll do the old doorknob and the string, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But there was one time I went to the dentist with a loose tooth. It was my bottom tooth. One of the side, or maybe it was one of the pointy ones. I don't remember that, but I do remember I was at the dentist and I was there for a cleaning. I was literally just there for a cleaning. And the assistant was a very like no nonsense, like I'm not gonna take a child crying type of adult, you know, like that kind of adult who's just like, you don't cry if you're in my room, you don't whine if you're in my, like very much that personality. So not my favorite, not exactly the most comforting of people. And as she's going through, she notices this tooth, and at this point this tooth was not very, it wiggled back and forth, but it wasn't like about to pop out.
Penguin,
it was
definitely.
still hanging on. And she says to me,
I can tell you,
do you
Mason,
know
in
you
a
have
second.
a loose tooth? And I'm like, yeah, it's not loose enough
crazy,
yet.
Enthuse.
I'm waiting. She's like, oh, okay, you're waiting. Do you mind if I touch it? I'm just gonna wiggle it a bit. And, you know, you're a older adult. Surely I can trust you. You're also a dentist. Clearly you know what's best. This woman grabs this tooth faster than I can blink and yanks. Now, there are two problems with this. It was not loose. So when she yanked it, it was still connected. So now it's literally dangling out of my mouth, being held on by sinew and prayers.
Penguin.
It was so bad. Also, it hurt like a bitch because it was not ready to come out. So now I got tears streaming down my face. And she goes, okay, one more. It's almost out. It's almost out. And she pulls again. And it flies out of my mouth. And then she goes, okay, let me clean you up. You're bleeding. I clamp my mouth shut. And I'm just like, you're not coming near me. No way. I literally refused to open my mouth. My mom was there in the room with me, and she had to like hold my hand. She had to coax me back in to opening my mouth, because she's like, honey, you gotta spit out the blood. Like, you can't keep that in there.
Yeah, don't
like,
swallow that, please.
Fuck this. Fuck you. Fuck you in particular, Miss Dentist. That was one of the worst experiences at the dentist I had ever had. I asked for a new assistant after that. I was like, I will still see my main dentist. That's more than fine because he's nice, but I want a new assistant. That was terrible. My poor dentist, I was still crying when he showed up to do the actual check. And he's like, oh, you're gonna get a cool little tooth box, and now you get to make some money. You could buy yourself a new toy. I'm like, I'm still in pain.
Yeah, like all of my trust has been broken now.
This is fine, but this doesn't fix the problem of the current pain. So after that, I was like, nope, I will take out my teeth on my own time. And if anyone tries to touch them, I am going to bite them.
So, bio thing. Mason asked, why do humans even have baby teeth? I have really cool teeth facts to talk about. It's not just humans. I have lots of teeth to talk about. Okay, so there are tons of different shapes of teeth in the mammal world, and of course the rest of the world, the rest of the animal kingdom, but I'm mostly talking about mammals right now because a large factor of mammals is their teeth. They have teeth, okay? And there's all different kinds of teeth. Certain mammals have, but the big thing that happens, okay, is how your teeth wear down. Because in nature, you need the teeth to eat your food, okay? Most food in nature requires teeth or some other processing thing in order to be eaten. So if you do not have teeth, you die. All right? Now a lot of animals use their teeth for things outside of eating and have thus evolved certain aspects of teeth in order to make sure that they don't die because they've worn down their teeth to nubs. One of these is rodents. Their two front incisors grow forever. They constantly make more teeth. They continue to grow like your fingernails, okay? You just keep growing. And they use their teeth to bite through things, to nibble through things. Naked mole rats use them to dig. You know, squirrels are using them to open nuts and all this and deal with twigs and all this sort of stuff. So they wear down their teeth a lot, and so they need more teeth constantly, okay? And so animals like that will have more teeth. Elephants, they chew their food a lot. They chew their food a lot to macerate it in order to eat it. So they actually have what is called conveyor belt teeth. So they don't have like our incisors and our eye teeth and canines and all this sort of stuff. They have just the molars, but they're called conveyor belt teeth because they have like 4, 5, 6 maybe molars that come out from back in the jaw and slowly work their way forward in their jaw as they wear them down. And now elephants are known to live a very, very, very long time for mammals and things. And they wear down their teeth so fast that actually most elephants in the wild actually die from malnutrition because they have used all of their teeth and not other factors. So they don't die of old age. They die because they literally can't chew their food anymore. So the reason that you have baby teeth and then you have adult teeth is twofold. One, we have very large skulls in the animal kingdom because it's a brain mass to body mass ratio that gives you intelligence. That's why crows are rather intelligent. You know, corvids in general, they have a large brain mass for their body mass. There's a ratio we have there. And, but because our brain is so big, we have very big heads. And your head has to grow from the size of it is as a child to the size it is as an adult. However, during those child periods, you need to eat food. So you get teeth for the size of your mouth as a child. And then when you start to get your skull size that you will have for the rest of your life, your teeth are replaced. And that's why baby teeth are just cared less about overall. Like if you get cavities in your baby teeth, people don't really care because there is this level of like, we get a second chance. If that makes sense. You get a second chance for teeth.
I believe they're called milk teeth with cats and dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually do remember finding a couple of scurries because we actually had her when she was a kitten.
Yeah, Cassie's.
I think hers fell out pretty quickly because she was never drinking milk.
They fall out before a year.
She was.
They fall out.
She was abandoned as a kitten
before a whole year.
Yeah, definitely within that first year.
I had my dog Cassie, so she was the dog. But Riley, we didn't get till she was 3. Cassie, we got as a puppy. You know, like that. 6 weeks or whatever it is, 8 weeks, you know, so right away we had her whole life basically. And yeah, we would find randomly bloody baby teeth just randomly, and they're sharp. My God.
Yes.
Dog and cat baby teeth are like needles.
You wouldn't expect it. But
Like,
holy
it's
hell.
wild. Yeah, a lot of mammals
So-
do enthuse.
To respond to the earlier thing about the dentist, I did enjoy going to the
Exactly,
dentist
Penguin, exactly.
prior to that experience. After that, it became one of my most feared places.
Oh, yeah?
I actually didn't mind going to the dentist prior to that whole experience.
I still don't mind going to the
They gave me a
dentist.
prize bit. Well, now it's fine. Now I don't care.
I never had an issue. My dentist was chill.
Your dentist never traumatized.
Yeah, I know. I got lucky.
You did.
I'm glad
my
someone
new
said we like
dentist
this guy's
is great.
expression. I'm glad.
Which is good because next month I'm getting my wisdom teeth out, so I need a good dentist for that.
You'll be fine. It'll be easier than you expect.
Oh, I plan to be loopy and high on gas the entire time. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring
I
my
had full
headphones, I'll have some
anesthesia.
music going.
I had full anesthesia, and if I'm being honest, afterwards, I didn't really feel that bad.
Ooh, Allie asks, unrelated question, but does a
Yeah.
shapeshifter need to wear a mask? I would ask, does this
So-
shapeshifter enjoy wearing a mask?
Yeah, so there's two options, Allie. And the reason is obviously you don't need a mask to disguise yourself in the sense of with the
Joke
sole
answer, Mason, they're
goal
trying to make me stupid.
of
Real
not
answer, they're actually starting to impact the other teeth.
they're a problem.
And it's
And to be
ouch.
honest, guys, if you have the means and the insurance and the ability to get your wisdom teeth removed, you basically just should, because they
Yeah.
are literally ticking time bombs.
They're little
that
bitches.
Yeah, so when you go into the military, they will force you to have your wisdom teeth removed. And the reason for that is because literally they are just problem children, and they don't even, in the vast majority of people, they don't even connect to like chew anything. So in the vast majority of people, they literally serve no purpose, and then they can literally just suddenly have issues, like really like life-threatening issues, like they can, make infections happen. And that's why they force you to take them out of the military, because you could be anywhere at any time with no true medical service like that, and suddenly, we're talking like suddenly, need them removed. So yeah, if you have them, I understand dentistry is very expensive in America, so like I totally get it. If you literally just can't afford to do it, that is unfortunately the world we're in right now. But if you are able to, I do recommend you getting them out, because they will just be a problem eventually, like majority of the time. Obviously, it's not 100% guarantee. My father had his wisdom teeth up until about like 5 years ago, where his dentist still recommended for him to remove them out, because literally at any time they can just be an issue, like a really bad issue. So that's my wisdom teeth rant. But back to changeling things,
Yes.
because I wanted to address this question. If the sole goal of the changelingness, Allie, is to just not be recognized as a specific person, then you don't need a mask for that, right? Because you don't have an identity necessarily, you are specifically trying to hide. However, there are other reasons you could want a mask. One is, does the changeling want their changelingness to be well known, right? You can have that identity cover by wearing a mask and not have to be known that you are a changeling, because that would be a normal thing for somebody to do. On top of that, the mask can be its own identity, right? As a fashion statement. Putting on the mask can be like this persona, because you're not really changing your face into like a mask. You can change it into be other people, but like having a mask, that adds to the thing. And on top of that, as a changeling, that means that nobody sees any of the faces you could make, right? Because I'm pretty sure as a changeling, you do need to have like seen something in order to be able to shift into that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't played D&D in a very long time. But so that could be that you're not using up your possible faces frivolously because there would be a limit, right? Yes, Persona. But it literally also could be painted, Allie, as literally just they like the aesthetic, right? So I had my very first D&D character was a changeling character. I love them. His name is Kazoo. And I treated his changelingness, he did not have any dissociative personality disorders. However, he used it as a crutch to get out of shenanigans, right? So he would, as a different person besides his main look of Kazoo, would pretend that they did not know what Kazoo did or the actions of the others, where he's fully aware because he is completely the same person. So he does have to lie. But he would just be these other people and pretend in order to try and get out of stuff that he was not the same person. This did not work every time, but it did work sometimes. Also, Kazoo had specific people he would turn into, specific personas, because even while they were all him, certain personas gave him confidence in different ways. An example is he was a very indecisive, nervous. He was a bard, right? And he was very indecisive. He was very nervous. He really had a lot of like anxiety involved. He was intelligent, but he was not wise. And he was not very good at paying attention to people. And so he had a persona that, because he did have healing and he was the healer of the party, named Asen, who was actually a character I ended up playing. I just played a character named Asen, and the lore is actually that is the person that that Kazoo based the persona off of, is the actual real Asen, who is a very cool and collected doctor that is cool under pressure, and his main goal and focus is to heal people. Real Asen had more of a Bones from Star Trek kind of vibe, where he was annoyed that everyone was getting hurt and he didn't want to have to be there doing this, but he felt obligated to care for these, idiots, basically. But Kazoo's Asen was definitely just like the idealized version. So when Kazoo would get so anxious, he would have sort of a slapdash reaction to be the Asen persona, and that would like help him calm his nerves. Again, he's not a different person, but it's more like putting on, people talk about it in like show business, right? Or even being in like a fursuit or like cosplay, like that feeling of looking the part, right? Fake it till you make it, right? And so that was like the embodiment of Kazoo, was that he would fake it till he made it by putting on this persona, by putting on this character that he saw a certain way, would be inspired to be like that character, and thus be able to do what was necessary. It doesn't always work, because it is still like a decision he sort of has to make. Yeah, exactly. Putting on a character. 100%, Allie. Exactly. And
my eyes.
Yeah, but he also had ones that like did reflect like his emotion. Like if he was very like depressed, nothing was gonna work, everything. There was a character named Daedra that he would be, that was a drow that he had met at one point, who just sort of was like, everything's nothing, life is meaningless, why are we here, spec sort of thing. So if he was having a moment like that, he may end up embodying this, and then his like physical reaction, being a changeling, would be to morph into the Daedra persona, and it would be a challenge to get him out of that because he would not want to do anything. And then during the campaign, so he came into the campaign with having the Asen and the Daedra characters that he would look to, that he would end up being. And then during the course of the campaign, he gained a couple. One of my favorites is probably a rookie guard named Newt. Just a human but he was a rookie.
That's already a character I want to know more about.
He's a rookie guard named Newt. And this happened because while he had seen other rookie guards, Newt is the name he came up with on the spot. Basically, I'm trying to remember exactly what happened, but he had some mild shenanigans with the Executioner, the Executioner had his pastime while he was big and scary. Oh, this is what happened. Executioner was big, scary guy, but in his pastime, his secret pastime was he liked to paint sparrows. And Kazoo found out about this and told people, because he's not wise, he didn't understand why you would hide this. So he just told people about it, like, oh my god, they're so beautiful, like he's such a good painter. But this ruined the Executioner's reputation. So they tried to take him into jail. They tried to arrest him because the Executioner was going to execute him. So he became Newt as like a very quick, like fight or flight, like I need to get out of this situation, and pretended to be a rookie guard. But because Newt was specifically based on a rookie guard, he was still not very good at all of it. And as the rookie guard, he got put in jail. But Kazoo was so stubborn that he remained as Newt in the jail cell because he was concerned that being Kazoo would get him beheaded. So yeah,
oh, damn.
He was a very fun character. I really, really enjoyed him. Again, lots of really fun. Definitely one of the characters I feel like I have like the most attachment to. Like I felt like he was a fully fleshed out character by the time the campaign was in. Like I really felt I knew who he was. No, he's such a boy failure. Okay.
Poor boy.
Very brief synopsis of what happened because I think it's very important to the kind of you know his character now, right? So when we started the campaign, we were there were 3 other people, and I came in like the second session because I couldn't make the first session. So I joined this mercenary group as the 4th person as Kazoo. So Dylan's character was like the leader, which was kind of just chosen by like charisma, and it wasn't like he had a position, right? But like he was the eldest, people looked up to him, all this sort of stuff. We lost those 2 players. Their players left for various reasons. And then we got now again, one of our mainstay table mates at that time came in. So now it's just the 3 of us, and Kazoo is now second, what's the word? Like experienced, right? We have Dylan's character, Koss, who was, the most legacy member, and then we had Kazoo now. Again, he moved up the ranks very fast because these people left. And then we had our table mate's character, Shakar, was the newbie now. Then, due to mechanically Ori not fully understanding how to play D&D, but lore-wise, Kazoo being kind of a bit of a bad at reading a situation, nearly directly caused Koss's death, which was very, very bad mentally on Kazoo.
Let's go, trauma.
And that broke
Woo-hoo!
This already boy failure of a man really bad. And so Kazoo, not being in right of mind and unable to save the person who saved him, best friend, and being basically directly the cause of it, really fucking crashed out. And what happened is that he took up the mantle of being the leader, in quotes, because now he's the eldest member, right? And, but he was not a good leader. And he knows he's not a good leader, and he knows he's bad at making decisions, but he felt obligated to hold this mantle because of it was Koss and all this sort of stuff, and because of who it was. And now the big thing is that while there is like this leader in heavy air quotes position, everything was decided by a vote. Now think about this. We have 3 members of this mercenary group, and I'm going to say without exaggeration, every single time the 2 other members, Dylan's new character and Shakar, always voted opposite without fail.
Damn it.
every fucking time. Like this, I'm not exaggerating. Every fucking time. Now, boy failure, traumatized, feels obligated to be a leader, but no, he fucking sucks at it. Indecisive Kazoo is the deciding vote every time. And that is the campaign.
What chaos.
Yeah. So, for those who didn't realize,
itty bitty pieces indeed, Penguin.
Kazoo was chaotic neutral. He didn't have much of a choice. And yeah, I would say that Kazoo is probably, at this point in time, definitely one of my favorite characters I've ever played. I feel like I really got to know who he was as a character. I'm not a big backstory person, personally, when I make characters, because I like what happened with Kazoo, and that was being able to find out who he was through playing him. And that's like a very uncommon thing in the sense of nobody else I know does that and doesn't really think of any backstory. But he was very, very enjoyable. I only regret playing one character, and that was Asen. And the only reason I regret playing Asen is
I thought it was Carthy.
No, Carthy's class was difficult, but like I think him as a character is fun. Asen's class was great, and like mechanically he was really great. The only thing I regret about Asen was I am definitely one of the talkers of the group, right? Dylan and I are probably the big talkers of the group a lot, and then probably Doug.
Oh, you definitely are.
And so
that's not a bad thing.
Playing characters. So I was playing a character that specifically didn't want to be there and didn't want to, and he still went along with it, because that's a very, balance you have to strike, is like making sure the character still is not hindering the plot, right? That's very important. The biggest rule when you are playing a D&D character is no matter what shenanigans you do, you have to make sure that it is not hindering the rest of the party, right? Because that's when people resent you. And that's not what you want. You can do a lot of shenanigans, though. Both Kazoo and Dylan's character, probably, again, his best character, Gromgal, did that in strives. It did that in stride. With stride? In stroke? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Took it in stride.
That, okay? Both of these characters
There you go.
were definitely the gremlins of their respective parties, but they never hindered the party, right? And that's very, very important about the whole thing, And so my problem with Asen was just that he was not a talker in the end, right? Just the way I built the character was that he was not a big talker. And so to play the character correctly, the character that I wanted to exist, it'd be like if I was playing Aster. I like Aster as a character. Aster is a good character. He is a fine character. He is not a character I want to play, because I want to be able to quip and make comments and joke and like talk. And he is not that kind of character. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not the kind of character I, Ori, like to play. Did it in droves. That's what I was looking for, Penguin. Thank you.
There you go. There you go.
That's what I was looking for.
That's it.
But yeah. Oops. So,
I'm trying to think. I feel like my most fleshed out character was either Gilith or Miss Molly. Like, those are the two I'm very proud of playing.
What I would say, so like, this is very interesting, guys. I remember every single character that has been played at my table. Okay, so that's Mars, Dylan, me, Doug, and our final table mate. And if it is a combination of that group of people, besides, I will say, I don't recognize the campaign you play where you're like Alar's brother just because of the nature of that campaign.
That one was super short.
It's super short, and it was not character focused. It was mostly just fighting things focused. So while we had fun doing it, it definitely was not like memorable in heavy air quotes. I remember things that happened. I don't remember the characters.
Future one for
oh yeah.
Sure.
But I would say for you, I think it would be Miss Molly. And the reason for that, I would say it's Miss Molly. I see such a clear image of I think like Miss Molly, you finally hit like, I understand how backstories for D&D work, and I understand how to
Gilith
be
was good practice
this character.
For that,
yeah, Gilith, you were getting there, and we definitely had Gilith moments, but it still felt like it wasn't fully like you were Gilith yet. Miss Molly, you were Miss Molly all the time, right? You played games like a child, having those like moments where it was like, as a child misinterpreting things, or like all this sort of stuff. Like you were very like in it with the characterization of Miss Molly, that I would say to me, she's probably your most iconic character currently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I loved playing Miss Molly.
Dylan's,
she was just so fun to play.
Dylan's is definitely Grom Gall.
You have to be a different kind of smart.
Dylan's is definitely Grom Gall. That he was just so iconic. Doug's
what about
is
Doug?
Tough. Trying to remember all of his like major campaign ones because he DM'd a bunch of them. I think I'd have to say Calazar. And I think it's because we had like my character and his character had such a like going at it that ended up being like a major part of the ending of the campaign. Hello, Percy.
True.
That it really like solidified that in me. Like I think like Corey's up there for me. Like I think she had a great arc. Like I think like you know the whole thing
really fun.
is really good. I'd probably put her at like my second to Kazoo. Kazoo just has like a certain place in my heart, but it's like it gives lightning in a bottle.
I mean, you always love your first.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a boy failure, it was definitely Alar.
Very good with like Corey. I don't think Sayer's going to be as iconic as like Corey. I don't think there's enough room in the campaign currently to like have moments like that.
I mean, you're getting there. You get little moments here and there, especially with your connected backstory to
favorite album is
Bairn.
Hard. Yeah, I have fun with that. I like doing that.
Favorite
sort of
album
thing.
Currently, Rise of the Monarch by Amelie.
It's hard. At a certain point, I like get to a point where I'm not listening to a lot of albums
too much.
Yeah.
I just listen to things here and there.
I mean, can I say the entirety of Epic the Musical? But
I feel like that should count.
That one's really, really good.
It is an album.
But if I had to pick something that's like very specifically an album, I'd have to go with Elsewhere by Set It Off.
Ooh,
I do like Elsewhere a lot.
That's inspired a lot of Outcast as well.
It's great. I love literally every song on that album. Like I listen to every song on that album versus like other albums I would like put in that list. I definitely skip songs constantly. Like I really like Ever After by Mariana's Trench, but there is a couple songs in there where like I don't really care about you.
It's like, we'll skip ya.
Yeah. But Allie, I do hope. Okay, we want. I don't. Can you guys keep a secret? You guys promise to keep a secret?
Well, Mason, that would be up to you. What roles would your characters play? What class would they?
Your characters. Yeah. Secrets you won't tell? All right. You can't try to suss it out.
All right.
But I'm making a D&D character, and it's very cool. And I haven't played D&D in a long time. And there was a moment where she was gonna be a bard, but she's not gonna be a bard. So
Leghast.
yeah, I know.
Not a bard.
Of course, Allie. I want to know all about the campaigns. A long time ago, Allie, when we had a much larger amount of people who were active TTRPG players, we would get stories about their stuff. And when and at that time as well, I used to like summarize
they would traumatize us
our last
with the
session
stories and what they were putting their characters through.
Yeah. All right. I'll share her
We would
name
cry.
because I made like randomly a really good like I don't know, signature logo for her just out of the blue. Like I really like it. Very happy with it. And craziest secret you ever heard? I know.
Ooh.
I know.
Okay, so what tree is she named after?
She's not after a tree. And the reason for that is because,
Really?
yes, it's not after a tree.
Ori breaking all the conventions.
It is a scientific name. It is a scientific binomial name. It's just not a tree. The reason it's not a tree is because there's not a lot of trees that are really like amethyst something, and amethyst is important. So this is named after the amethyst dancer damselfly.
Ooh.
And so her name is Argia Palais. Yes. And I really like, I haven't, she's not fully designed, and the reason she's not fully designed is because somebody else is gonna take her and work with her, and everything. But I will give one more little sneak peek that I've given out. I'm very
Just
happy
a
with
little
this
treat for you
wing
guys.
design that I have for her as well. She doesn't have
Ooh.
wings constantly, but she does have wings that she can manifest, and I'm very happy with them. I think she's very
They look
pretty.
quite lovely.
So yes, so what I am saying is that there will be D&D related stuff for y'all sometime in the
Yes.
future. I will give no more timeline on that.
It's coming out.
Content is happening.
Get excited.
And that leads into, yeah, in the past we used to I would
The
summarize
peak of Sneak Indeed app.
I would summarize our like last TTRPG session and
We
give
do
it
a
to
last time
in a story
on
format
D&D.
on Thursdays for Drawing and Dragons, because of course that was related.
That was a fun.
It's just a lot more work.
It was. And then we pivoted.
Well, then there was a while that I wasn't doing it because, like I said, it was a fair amount of work to do. Because unfortunately, and Dylan, this is Dylan's words too. I'm not the best storyteller when it's off the top of my head. I go too into details that don't matter. So I would have to write it out.
And unfortunately, the writer couldn't help with that because I was in grad school at the time and dying.
And it was also very early in Mars's, like, TTRPG career, so she wasn't really aware yet.
I was still learning the ropes.
She was
I
still
feel
learning
like
the
now
ropes.
I could recount a good story.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe decent. No, Enthuse. Comic corners are still going to be dedicated to Outcasts. 'Cause
Yes.
We still want to hype it up. But making time, I think, will be for art fights, at least leading up.
Making time will
during
definitely
the
be
month
for
of-
Art Fight
I forget which one.
to it. I do not know if I want to replace Comic Corner for the month of Art Fight. That'll be debatable.
I feel like that depends on how much Ori wants to do
Yeah.
art fight
It'll definitely
pictures.
be Making Time will be Art
and
Fight
how many she's going
through
to do.
the month of Art Fight starting this week. Comic Corner will not be possibly Art Fight until the month of Art Fight in July. That would be the only time that it may be Art Fight related, but I do know that I'm very behind on the comic. So honestly, I might more go into comic sprints attempts and we'll see how that goes. But that's something I might have to do. I've gotten very behind, and I'm attempting to catch up, and I'm nearing catching up, but I'm not there yet. And I don't want Art Fight to disrupt that too much, so it's more likely that Comic Corner will remain, and it'll just be making time. Because I will be working on Art Fight outside. So they use
their shifting powers to frame people. That's lovely.
Ooh, very fun. You're gonna be a rogue, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember what class you're gonna be. Comic sprints, yeah. Well, they're from writing sprints, is the thing.
Yes. My poor Little Mermaid fic, it's still waiting.
Yep.
In the reserves.
I got one mermaid. I hope for one other mermaid
more
thing
than a week left
to come out before the mermaid is over. But I do not know if that will be the case or not. Okay. I did want to give you a thing, but you make it difficult. Rogue. Which did you pick a subclass, Allie? I don't know what class, what level you're starting at. Because if you haven't, I might recommend. Because there are a couple of rogue subclasses that just aren't as helpful as they look on the tin. And it would kind of suck if you don't get to do a lot of shit just because you didn't pick an as useful subclass. That's the one caveat of D&D as a system, is it does have certain bad options. I mean, no harm, no foul, Allie. You did it, you have fun, whether you do more or not. Up to, totally up to you. It's just meant to be fun.
That's the beauty of being an artist.
I wish I had more time. I wanted to do one a week, but everything kind of got away from me. However, I'm very happy that I have 2 editors now on the Ace 2D subtitle editing, and that makes my life much easier.
Yes, we appreciate them. They work so hard.
They do. If you want to say who you are, you don't have to hide it. I don't want to say if you don't want to know, though. Level 3. Soul Knife is good. The main ones I would not recommend. Don't play Thief. Thief Rogue does not do as good as it should.
Wasn't I a thief?
Huh?
I thought I was a thief.
You were a swashbuckler, madam. Which is also, unfortunately, not as powerful as it could be.
Okay, but I picked it because pirate.
I know why you picked it. Swashbuckler in Pathfinder is way better than D&D Swashbuckler. Swashbuckler in Pathfinder is its own class.
Out again.
You're a swashbuckler as the brother.
Was that in Pathfinder or before we switched?
That's in Pathfinder. So in D&D, Mars, in D&D, you are... Alar was a swashbuckler rogue. So rogue was your class, and swashbuckler was your subclass. In Pathfinder... Okay, but I could have sworn I picked something else. No, listen to me. Listen to me. In Pathfinder, your class is swashbuckler, and your subclass is something else.
Okay.
That's the difference, and that's where you're screwing yourself up.
Why did I pick Swashbuckler for his brother if they had totally different paths and upbringings? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, remember Panache? That's Pathfinder.
Yes, I do remember Panache. It's coming back to me. It's coming back.
Yeah, confident finisher, all that sort of stuff.
Right. Okay.
Styles. That's what it is. Battle dancer, braggart, fencer, gymnast, rascal, wit. I think you were battle dancer.
I think I was battle dancer.
Yes. So that's the difference.
Although,
yes.
no, Thaddeus was 5e. He was a blade singer.
Yes, he was a blade singer wizard. He was a wizard.
The name sounds too similar and I get confused.
I don't know. Soul Knife is very, very good, Ellie. Yeah, unfortunately, Thief Rogue is just very, 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 like, underpowered as, like, a stuff it can do. And it's just very sad if you, like, don't get to do stuff, you know? And it would be very unfortunate if your first intro to D&D is being kind of sad as a class.
Yeah. Pick that OP stuff.
Yeah, Soul Knife is like a much newer one, so it's much better balance-wise. So, like, if you're down for that, I totally do recommend. Phantom is what Ostrogor was as well. Phantom is good as well. Phantom Rogue is a different vibe, but that one is also good. I think they're both Tasha's, that's why. I think those are the ones I recommend. Scout is fun, but it does depend on the type of campaign you are playing. Arcane Trickster is your favorite? Arcane Trickster's not bad. It's definitely like... It has its uses. But like if you're trying to be a rogue,
how to play that, you know.
Ooh, nice, Allie. That's always helpful. I agree. Soul Knife is a really good one. Soul Knife or Phantom would be the two that I would recommend. But I don't know if Phantom is really necessarily the vibe you're going for. That really depends on you. Ostrogor was Phantom Rogue Mars, if that reminds anything. So we had the soul coins and all that sort of stuff. Very fun things. Yeah, magic is a lot. Mars did a no magic class as well, being Swashbuckler Rogue for her first time.
It was just too intimidating for my first go.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And then on my second ever playthrough, I played
full magic.
Jolly Jolly Low Shield.
Where half caster. Yes. Oh no, you were an alchemist, so you were full magic. You were an alchemist, so you were full magic.
Right.
Yeah.
And that took some getting to.
There's a lot. Alchemist has a lot of stuff going on, and it's not the best.
Was
artificer,
Thaddeus, and that's when I went back to full melee. I
yes,
was like, I'm
as
not
a wizard though,
again.
which is a wild thing to say, but I love Bard. Lex, when we were playing 5e as our main thing, the vast majority of my characters were bards. I love bards. As you can see on my home screen, if I get that up on my desktop background, I need to show it though. I think here. It's cropped. Hold on, let's do it this way. There you go. You can see these are my 3 main D&D bards.
There they are.
These are my 3 main D&D bards.
Ori, remind me to commission you for one of these.
Okay, and these are so old, man. These are so old. You gotta see my newer full body work is even better. So, I mean, it'll just be better is all I'm saying. If you think these are good, you know, that's what I'm trying to say. Right? But yes, we have Kazoo, Za Leishliel. I love Za. He was a very fleshed out character in the end, even though he was a micro campaign character. And then this is Avisha, who was part of the TPK. That was Mars's first campaign.
Yes. Avisha, Alar.
Besides these 3, I played another bard for a micro campaign whose name was Carthimachus. I've showed him on stream briefly. And then I've played one Pathfinder bard that was for this campaign that I was referencing with Mars. That's was more like an interim. We just still want to kind of goof off and play around, but there's not really a lot of character stuff going on campaign. So he didn't really have a lot of stuff. His name was Padwack. I loved his design. I repurposed his design from werewolf stuff.
That was such a good name.
Yeah, that's a tree again. Padwack. And he was a Colo, just like Delaney. But thank you, Allie. No, I gotta show you, some of my more recent full bodies are way, way better. They're both commissions for Jamie, so that's cool. But I'm very, very proud. So we have this one. Whoops, I can't do it that way. I have to do it this way. Boop. You have this guy, who's a 3 Kreen. Very, very, very proud of how this one turned out.
Love the colors.
Very fun. Specifically casting the spell, I think it's Blight and Bloom or something like that. Wither and Bloom. Wither and Bloom, that's what it's called. So really love the lighting. Very proud of the other thing, the words that I can totally say. And then the other one is from Jamie, which is Jamie's brain. They're a Intellion human hybrid for a Pokemon D&D campaign, which is a wild thing to say. But, and this is them. Also very cool, very proud. I like the vibes. I'm gonna think if I have any other...
like a 3D model.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Like
that's what I'm trying to do. I like adding the bases because of that. I've added a lot of bases because of that now. I also, where is... I think it's here. Yeah, we also have, my boy. Come here, my boy.
They are indeed slaying.
My boy Umfalo.
Love the gradient on the arms and legs.
We need some darkness in the
Yes!
background.
Oh, he
there.
was such a good boy.
My good boy Eidolon Umfalo. He's named after the
We
ghost
love
mushroom.
Umfalo.
I love Umfalo, my boy, my lovely man. And then, of course, we can't forget Mars's little familiar from the same campaign.
Yes!
Hyba! Hibernate.
Little hibernate.
Little Hyba. Give him a little snowman.
He's just a floof. He's a little floof.
Very, very fun. And then those are all the 3D model, like, esque style ones that I have, because Umfalo was the first one I did that with. So, yeah, very cool.
Pet the floof for you, Lex.
Yes, Pet the Floof. He was the goodest of boys.
Pet both floof.
They were both good boys.
They were.
But yeah, so, yeah.
Hyba let me know when there were eepy, sleepy guards around the corner.
Yes.
He was very good at that.
So yes, full rendered, full body pieces. They do go hard, but there's a reason that I don't do them just because usually. They're a lot of work. There's so much time. But I like doing them.
Allie, I just saw yours in the sketchbook. Definitely the long.
Oh,
At
hold
least
on.
for me. I feel like it makes
What are
this
we doing?
gesture look so distinct and very unique.
My lord. Here it is.
Like long helps add to the character.
Oh, I like the
you know?
colors. Yeah, no. The silhouette is way better with the longs. You needed something to counteract you got poof and poof makes it kind of even with the sleeves and the pants, but then the long comes down. Yeah, no. Way better. Otherwise you're too like, yeah,
it also
no.
kind of makes him look taller in a way. I don't know, am I tripping?
I can see why that effect would happen. Nah, it's Long's hands down. The silhouette is too good. It's too iconic. You get lost. See, that's the other thing. Wildly enough, the short, the face gets lost. The long, because you've overall increased the mass of the hat, the face is more prominent. Does that make sense? Yes, I'm sorry, Penguin.
Long wins. Everyone loves Long.
It's just such a good silhouette.
It really is.
Okay.
And I also feel like it makes the character more distinct. Like, I've seen the jesters with the short hat, and it's like, that's cool, like it, but ooh, Long, like that almost looks like hair, pigtails, just more distinct. Ooh, look at the expression on this man.
Good. Glad we can communicate at least.
We always try. Oh, wait.
Is that a greeting? Good day, Jane?
To be a non-binary?
They are a non-binary androgynous. I hope androgynous is coming across enough. I feel like it is.
Maybe with color, I'll see it more.
Because I tried to add like the lashes. I could make them a little softer.
I think a little softer, because right now he's just a bit chiseled.
Yeah. I tried to do it with, like, the eyelashes. Bring a little...
It looks very andro, not enough Johnness.
I see.
I feel like the way to split that up would be it looks very and not very androgynous.
No, but that is how it's split up. Because andro is man and gyness is woman. Like, those are the words.
I know, it just doesn't roll off the tongue very well.
Okay.
Still a smash?
Well, the smash, I will say, guys, if I end up with a character at this point that Ori's designing that is not a smash, like, the world's ending. Like, unless the specific purpose was to not be a smash.
Ori doesn't have a smash.
I just like, so, like, okay.
Like, even my throwaway character, Thaddeus, was kind of a looker.
Thaddeus, hot AF, both versions, I will say. But, like, hot, they're all hot. I can't get over Gardwan. I'm upset. Gardwan.
How dare he look fabulous.
Yeah. Why does the part that sounds like Gyness mean woman? Who fucking knows?
I feel like there's a explanation from Latin in there, but
yeah, I'm not surprised, Jayan, that most people like Elastigirl.
Oh, not
she has the Pixar mom hips.
She does. And then the second movie was pretty much all about her. Also, top tier mom.
Oh, yeah.
Pixar knows what they're doing.
I'm on the wrong layer.
Oh,
okay.
No.
It's okay. It doesn't really matter right now.
Yes, Allie. It happens every single time. The side character is always the favorite.
Okay, I will say, if people like Gardwan,
I still prefer Mau Mau over Gingy.
If people think that if people like Gardwan better than any of our like pirate boys, I will be upset. However, I will understand if the other pirate group has some like fan people. You know what I'm saying?
That I would be accepting of because they're secondary characters. Gardwan isn't even secondary.
He's a one-off, literally. We all
He's
know
a
the struggle. Yep. All right, I'm pretty here for this.
Oh, this is good.
I think this
Okay,
is
now I'm getting a bit more androgynous.
okay. Good. Guy originates from Guy Fawkes. Yeah.
What review are you talking about, Estrock? There was a Weird Incredibles 2 review?
Oh, God, I don't know if I want to know.
My morbid curiosity wants to. Not Migwit! Oh, I definitely missed that one, Estrock. I definitely did not see that review. If you want to put it in the bar, feel free.
Okay, what do you have again? We gotta give, like, okay. Stop. I don't
Gotta
want
make
this.
them look like a team.
Well, they're already kind of looking like a team. I am there. Honestly, we're pretty good with that. I have added certain elements that do work out. I think then the colors.
Memory lane with D&D. I'm curious, Ori,
Yeah,
do you
really.
remember your character from the one-off Halloween one-shot that we did?
Marginally. I actually remember Dylan's character more. I know that I was a big beetle dude paladin. If I'm being honest, his name
Oh, yes!
I don't recall.
You were the sun guy. You got your power from the sun.
I was the sun guy, and I was a scarab beetle, like Kepri. My name wasn't Kepri though. I don't remember what my name was. And Dylan was the armadillo man. And you were Octavia, I think, the bard.
No, I was Adelaide.
Oh, Adelaide.
Whisper.
Octavia was an option. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
I considered Octavia, and then was like, nah, let's do an Over the Garden Wall reference. Do have to remember Octavia, because that would be a good one. Future. It's got a nice
Does this
name.
character have a name, Allie? I'm so curious.
Ooh. The green
Okay,
is kind of
okay.
singing to me a little bit.
Okay, hear me out. Both.
Mmm. Now, Ori, would you give suggestions for where to put colors?
Alternating. Maybe the pants are green and the shirt is red, and the sleeves are green and the hat is red, something like that. I don't know. Alternating.
I could see it working.
I can't tell if that was a good thing or not, Allie. I think they're just such nice tones. They would go really nice together.
And they complement each other really well.
Rainbow Jelly Rancher. It just...
I mean, it's only 2 weeks away, you guys. We gotta prepare.
I like it. What are you preparing for?
Pride Month. You got this, Allie. We believe in you.
Oh, yes. Okay. Earring, yay or nay?
Ooh, earring yay. Earring yay. It helps.
You just struggle with colors? I like the
Colors, they're not easy. They're not always easy.
Does this nose make it
would look
less
really good.
androgynous?
What would make it less androgynous? Oh, the nose?
Yeah.
I think it still works as androgynous.
I think I
I'm
kind of
still
like
reading
it.
as such. I like it because that bump adds personality.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
You almost get a backstory from that. Like, ooh, what happened there?
Yeah. It's very,
like, injured in battle, healed crooked, you know?
Ooh, Vengeance should have a scar.
Hell yeah.
What? We want it to be a visible scar, of course. Let me make sure I'm not... Nope, good. Where does the scar go? Options. Cut out of the ear. Small, subtle, but there. We also have the classic kind of right here, but so boring, so classic.
Yeah,
I feel like so many of the face ones are just like too done.
Okay, would it look dumb going straight across their mouth?
Like this in the middle? Eh.
Either in the middle or more toward this side. Nah, it just kind of looks like...
Ooh, how about that? Small, subtle.
Ooh, okay.
I like it. We like the nicked... I mean, I might add the nicked ear back. I did like the nicked ear. Yeah,
nicked ear is very
I'm
cool.
gonna add the nicked ear back because it feels like if it follows this line, it's like they clipped him and then clipped the ear. I like it.
Yeah, now there's a line of action to follow.
Yeah. Okay, I'm doing a bad job though. Let's try that again. All right.
Oh, you posted in the bar? Oh, jeez. All right. What's
Okay.
the bar serving tonight?
I feel like this worked out pretty well. Pretty androgynous. This is the color palette I'm gonna base off of. Oh, so Allie, we can do quick color stuff. I don't really have a ton of time to do like another full character right now. So, Allie,
oh, wow, there's a view.
With your color stuff, what is the part you find you struggle with? Is it like... Oops. The choosing the colors in the first place? Or is it, oh, I have a palette, but I don't know how to use it? What's kind of the concern?
How can we help?
Multiply.
Good night, Mason.
Good night, Mason. I have no idea who that is, Percy. You've asked this before. Not a clue.
Not sure, Percy.
I am not a big music listener, if I'm being at all honest. I listen to very specific kinds of music, and they're mostly stuff that could be animatics.
Looks like she was in some movies. I'm not sure if she
struggle with putting multiple colors together in a cohesive design. So you feel like you find colors you like, but then you can't add them to your piece. Okay. That's perfect for them, what I have right here, right now. I will say, I don't think about color a lot, so I'm basically gonna, like, try and describe... Like, I'm gonna do my thing, and then I'm gonna try and, like, translate it after the fact, which is how most of my advice goes, if I'm being honest, because I really don't think very much about it.
Example.
Yeah.
And that's a totally valid way.
So if we have a base, okay, and the color palette, whoops, I liked is this one. Now, the reason this color palette is the one that I have chosen is because we did talk about having a darker darker color palette for the Vengeance Paladin. But on top of that, this purple color is basically taken from their other party member as this reddish color. It's the pinkish, and then I just drag the color wheel purple, more purple. So it's in the same general value, I think is the correct word, but a different undertone hue. Okay. So more than one, we sort of had you like the single colors, you got that. I see that in the gesture, which I like. I like, totally valid. If I had to pick between the red and the green, personally, I'm going the green. I'm sorry, the red. I like the red. That was my personal favorite. But I think that both can be really fun. But so we have these colors, and this is the color palette that I plan to use. Now, I'm not gonna be beholden to this solely. The main two colors that I like are these first two, are the ones that I chose, and then these were generated via the website Coolors, Collors. You can put in colors and then lock them in. I am not Estrock. I am not. I am brain issue. I am brain issue midnight-tid. Because that made more sense than anything else that I just said. Yep. I keep going on the wrong thing.
I mean, Estrock, if she was, then Milano's vest is the completely wrong color.
I think it'll be really, really cool, Allie. But, so, with this, I really like this purple. Again, as a main color, but it doesn't feel like an armor color to me. That's just how I'm going about this right now, thinking about it. I'm like, I like the purple, but purple doesn't feel like it should be the color of the armor. I'm really banking currently on that next darker color being the armor color. This feels like a Dark Paladin's armor color. Whoops, I am not clipped. Bad Ori. And now I do want to make sure that the purple does stand out enough. And what I'm actually going to do is, just like you've done, I'm going to give the canvas sort of a wash over here from Stark White. And so, yeah, we're going to make all the armor of this. And I do want the purple scarf, whatever, to stand out enough against the black, the darker armor, which is not true black. Very important. The armor is not a true black. That's it compared to true black.
I think most people rarely use true black.
You should only use true black if it's specifically a style choice you want to do, right? Nothing is truly black in real life. Nothing is truly white in real life. They're always very, very close, but not exactly. So if you're not specifically going for a very specific style using true white and true black, because some people will be like, oh, never do this. That's dumb. That's very dumb. You can totally do it, but you want to use it purposefully instead of, oh, this is white, this should be true white. Okay? So, how do I like this? I kind of just... So in here, I was originally picturing them kind of pale. I don't know if that's what I want to do now at this point. Because I think like a warmish tone skin could be interesting compared to this color here. I kind of like that idea.
That one's pretty nice.
What timing for Toccata in Fugue? But basically, the reason I chose the skin color was just kind of a hunch. Also, because I feel like a lot of times the dark and brooding character is paired with very pale skin. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to do something different. And I'm liking it so far. Now, originally I was thinking that this gold color was going to be more aligned with the hair. But I don't think that's the nature I want. And I might actually change it up with a darker colored hair again. Pulling this in. I kind of like how that feels. Break the rules purposefully. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You want to break the rules with knowledge that you're breaking the rules. See, okay. I want to back up.
This is why sometimes you gotta know the rules.
Oh, yeah. The classic sentiment is know the rules before you break them. And I only think this sentiment is marginally a good one in the sense of that I don't think you need to be an amazing artist the quote-unquote realistic way before, you know, enjoying your style. The point is that you need to be purposefully making a decision. Okay, maybe I pretend I'm not good at drawing, you know, anatomy. This is just pretend, right? And I make all of my hands too long, something. I don't know. There's a difference between I'm making the hands too long and accepting that I make the hands too long, so I'm calling it my style because I can't/don't want to improve. And then there's I am having a brain fart. And then there's, oh, I actually like that the hands are long anyway. So even if I don't know how to draw hands, I actually like how they look this way. So I'm going to continue to do that. Right? That's the difference, I think. That's very important to the whole scenario, is you don't necessarily have to know how to draw hands in order to decide that your hand style is a certain way. But did I just forget that they're a half-elf? Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's okay. Easy fix, easy fix.
That can be fixed.
Easy fix. Oh,
Oopsies.
that's not where that should go. I knew I was forgetting something.
Also a reminder to check your references more often.
Okay, so I do like the gold as an accent.
Clip in.
Oh yeah. It just has to be pointed slightly.
In the
That's it.
ears.
Yeah.
That's all.
No. The clipped ears will stay. Hello, Angel.
Oh, hello. Welcome.
Oh yeah, no, Picasso totally very knew what realism was and everything like that. Yeah, but exactly. Break the rules purposely and you have a style. Break it unpurposefully and you have a mistake. But I don't think you necessarily need to be able to do it the quote-unquote right way before you can break the rules. Like, I don't need to know how to draw a hand to want to draw hands like Charlie Brown, right? I don't need to know how a hand works if I only personally want to draw this kind of hand, right? That's the style I want to do. Can it be helpful? Sure. You know, because it still is like in a 3D space, you want to be able to break it down and put the thumb, you know, where it belongs or anything like that. But, like, if you don't have fun learning the right way, let art be fun. I think that's my biggest thing. I hate the idea that if you want to be a hobby artist, and you don't have a desire to grow personally yourself for yourself, you should just have fun and not let anyone tell you otherwise. So now I'm just kind of playing around, Allie, with the colors. I feel concerned that I kind of lost the androgyny a little bit with the dark hair. So I'm kind of going to go back over that. I will say partially is the fact that, like, the lines I did kind of don't work as well.
It's all part of the process.
Just because it's a sketch and not because of anything else. But, ooh, what about... See, now I'm thinking here, what about dual tone? I think that'll solve my problems. Yeah, okay. We're gonna do it that way. Because I liked how that little bit looked, right? Just the little bit there. So we're gonna follow that through.
Really cool. I think you could get away with that.
We're gonna follow that through. Let art be fun. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
If you want to draw because you have fun drawing, whether or not you have any desire in the future to make money or something, if your goal is not to, I want to go do art professionally, then just have a good, like as my main source of income, just have fun with it. Just draw what you want. And if it turns into something, then after that, do that if you want. But I really despise the idea of, oh, you're doing this, it has to be monetized, it has to be, you have to be improving all of the time. No, you don't. No, you don't. If you are happy where you are, there's nothing you have to do. And you only have to improve when you want to.
If you want to learn that new skill, go for it, but never feel forced.
Okay. I'm feeling it.
Ooh, okay. The stripe is really cool. I like that.
I'm feeling the stripe. Just debating how much I want it to be. And I also changed the hairline, as we could see. I felt that helped more.
It's giving more of an uncut now, which does feel very
Which is what I wanted, yeah.
And
the
it
whole
easily allows for a two-toned hairstyle.
Yeah.
Because this is a vengeance paladin after all.
Okay.
They gotta have all these gray hairs from something.
I don't want it like this. I think I want it more with how the undercut is the light color. I'm gonna have it more root related. So something more like that. I think I'm liking that more.
Ooh, and it looks very natural too.
That's what I think is better. It feels more like they're graying or like something happened than like uh-oh. And then if I add a little like here in the brows as well.
Put it in the eyebrows too.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it as well.
For that follow, that's good.
And then we can have the scar. Scars are usually a lighter color than the skin when they heal. Sometimes a little redder, pinker, but almost always lighter. Isn't that why all cartoons had gloves and 4 fingers? Yeah, that is why. It helped with drawing the hands and not having it to be like super detailed and things like that. You still look pretty damn andro. I'm trying here.
Stop making hot characters, Allie. It's literally impossible.
Yeah, that'll never happen. I don't know. I think they're pretty both, if I'm being honest at this point.
I see it.
I'm pretty happy.
Now, I knew it would look more andro as the color came in.
But I think both the hairline change has helped and, the accentuated eyelashes, like I said. I think if I add a little shading to it in a specific way, we can help it as well. This is far from the thing. And I will totally say the sketchy line art being colored over like this is not really lending itself, thanks YouTube, to being the way. If that made any sense at all. Why are you not doing what I wish? Beep boop beep beep.
Only intentionally, Estruck. It has to be very intentional when Ori does not make a hut.
Yeah.
I would say Olus.
I would say I don't.
Somebody's gonna think.
Well,
he's
okay.
hot.
There's a difference between someone
he's
is a
not
type
ugly.
for everyone and Ori makes like nearly objectively hot characters, right? Because the other thing on top of that is I'm not drawing one body type, right? Like damn did I make Grossberg hot?
So
Damn is
many.
Perry hot, right? Like they're not. We ain't
You
here.
made that cute little dessert mermaid. For
Yes.
Mermaid.
Oh, she's so good. It is like I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you I understand how it has happened. But it certainly has happened.
I remember there was a business meeting night where I was trying to compliment Ori on the mermaid that she drew, because it's a different body type from what she normally does, and it looks really friggin'
I'm very
good
proud
the
of
way
it.
she drew it. And I'm like, Ori, I want to compliment you on something very specific about this character, but I need you to know it's not weird. It's just me appreciating the art. You did the belly folds really, really well. But
Will I
like
get
in
K
an
vibes?
aesthetic way,
I'm okay
not a
with K
weird
vibes.
way.
I think this has hit androgynous very well now.
This has. This very much has.
I think this right here has.
Thank God Ori and I have the same brain for that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it
'Cause she
really
was
is
immediately
helpful.
like, yes.
I was literally like, oh my god, yeah, I was so proud when I was doing them. Yeah.
Oh no, not redacted, redacted, redacted.
Uh-oh. Why? Okay, interesting.
I just saw you in the bar, Penguin. Midnight Brain at 8:30 a.m. Base.
Yep. Okay, I'm debating how much gold I want here or not. I feel like that's
Ooh!
too
Ori,
much.
come check out the sketchbook.
Okay, hold on.
I think the color blending worked.
Okay, I'm here for this amount of gold. And I want like a pattern. I feel like I've made them too basic for an Ori design. Okay, this is helping. I don't know what I just did here, but I like it.
It's good. It's got a vibe.
It's got a vibe. Okay, here we are. Oh, there we go. All right,
I don't know
there's
why I
something
read that
happened
as
there.
Final Fantasy S.
And this color's gonna have to be different. But let's look at sketchbook. Yes, Allie.
Isn't
oh,
that the vibe?
That's what I wanted. That's what I
That was so
wanted.
good.
So good. I love it. I love it very much. Yes, that's what I wanted. You just had such nice jewel tones. I was like, oh, they'd be so good together. See, okay. I know that everyone's saying Christmas Clown. I'm gonna come out and say I don't think it's Christmas Clown. Okay, like
I feel like Christmas would have a brighter
like
red.
I love the red and green. Red and green are complementary colors, right? So a lot of people shy away from the red and green because they're concerned about Christmas. I specifically don't think that those tones are Christmas. And then on top of the, like, the black that's not really black.
Like Pastry Puff says,
also
watermelon
perfect.
is also red and green.
Yeah, I also don't get watermelon, though. I get very specific, like, historic medieval jester. You know what I'm saying? Venetian mask.
Yes.
Very good. Here for the Venetian mask vibes. I'm really getting that right now. Like, it's really, like, the tone. Yeah, it's the tone, 100%. The tone of it, and the choice that you, like the tone of the black you gave. Because I really liked that about the red one. The tone, like, when it was just red, you gave it this very, like, brown tone that very much feels like Venetian mask, right? It feels like dyed with plants. You know what I'm saying? It feels like I dyed this fabric with the plants I could find. Okay.
That checks out.
Love them. Do they have a name? Because that's the other thing I obviously love to do. I mean, if you don't want help, please, you know, I will not. But I love names. Where's my thing? I've lost the sketchbook. But all right, pretty productive stream, guys. I actually got this mostly done. Very happy with that. Okay, now the chest plate looks too dull, though. I need something else.
We definitely gotta put something on that.
Yeah, Christmas did get fucking greedy with colors. I'm pissed. Every time someone's like, no, I don't want to do the red and the green. It looks like Christmas. And it's like, can we not? Can we not have these colors? Or, you know what I also hate? I also hate when red and blue is always like, it's America. It's like, one, other flags have those colors, and two, they just look good together sometimes. Oh yes, no surname. I forgot that. No surname. Yes, that's good. That was good. It gives Ace Attorney character.
It really does.
Yeah, France, Netherlands,
too good.
Russia. Like, it's just like, why? There's a ton more too. I don't know if Enthuse is here. Enthuse would have the list. See, I think that Phoenix and Edgeworth get away with it because Edgeworth varies between maroon and, like, nearly pink. Like, his art, it, like, spans the gambit. But yeah, red and blue gays are classic. Burgundy, yeah. Red and blue gays are classic. He's like, what color should I go with my thing? And I was like, ooh, what about, you know, red and blue? And he's like, it sounds just like America. And it's like, I'm sorry that, like, there's only, like, a couple of colors, and why do you just dismiss half of them? Okay, there we go. This is it.
So tragic.
Okay, the scarf color is not working, though. Scarf needs to be different. It's too similar. We're too in it. We were talking about a mutant. What if I made it bluer? Whoa. What is your colors, ma'am? Sir? Person? Why? Is your tolerance too high?
What is happening?
The tolerance is too high. There we go. No, I hate that. That was bad. Ew.
It was worth a shot.
None of these are good. What are you?
So, Estrok Thanksgiving, to my knowledge, has all the veggie colors. It's got the orange, it's got the red, lots of fall colors, brown, of course.
Brown, red, orange, yellow. Those are the Thanksgiving colors, in my opinion. Ooh, that's nice. Slight tone difference. A little brighter. Nope, too much. Washed out.
Sometimes green works way.
Yeah, right, Penguin? Oh no, you summoned Murk. Would Edward be a
It's
paladin?
funny that you say that, Angel. Orange, purple, and green are very Halloween. There was literally a song in elementary school that we learned, and it was called Black and Gold. And literally, this song is like, these are the colors of Halloween. So, like, in my mind, it's like, black and gold, those are the ones.
I would not say black and gold are Halloween. Definitely purple, black, orange, green. Yeah, green. But like lime green, like
Green
cat's
does
eye
fit
green.
for, like, the
Cat's eye
monsters.
green? Yeah, like goo green. You know,
It's
like
gotta be, like,
bright
Frankenstein green.
Yeah, exactly. But also candy corn, but only specifically those three colors together. Right? Only
It's gotta
orange,
be, like,
yellow,
the
white.
neon orange and yellow.
Yeah, but like I can't take yellow and like it is definitely, you know, like that. I can go with Edward being a paladin solely because they have a very strict code, and at this point in time now, he's like found one, and he will stay the course, right? Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you all for coming.
I don't
I'm
know,
very
Angel. I
glad.
didn't make the rules. I didn't make the choices.
I'm very glad that we came up with this. You know, it was very productive. My time well spent. Thank you all for coming. I mean, Allie also did. I hope you guys also worked on bugs if you're still here working on your thing. Hope you made good progress. And anything else anybody was working on while we yapped. But thank you all for coming. Have a lovely hump day. You know, you're getting to the second half of the week. You're getting through it. We will see you all on our Thursday, Penguin's Friday. Anybody else on the other side of the world, your Friday too. But yeah, we'll see you in 2 days. However many days that will be, whatever day of the week that'll be. Thank you, Enthuse. And yeah, we'll see you for Art Fight Prep. Yes.
Yes. Oh, so exciting.
We'll see you for Art Fight Prep. I know, Allie, I know.
I know.
But
we actually went overtime.
yes, and we do have to
so
work,
worth it.
unfortunately. But yes, Art Fight Prep. We get to see Avrit, probably Ori fight Avrit because he does not like me anymore after all I've done to him.
He fights back.
He fights back. And, S-Drog, we could keep going. We used to go to midnight once upon a time.
We did.
We used to go to midnight. But
can't
we
do that
have
anymore.
jobs, unfortunately, now. That was back when no one had
require us
jobs.
to get up in the AM.
Everyone had night school or was unemployed when we did midnight. So yes, we will see you all on Thursday and in 2 days. And thank you for coming. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Can't wait to see you on Thursday.